A lot of titles on the light.
No, you always do it. New world champion. It's not showtime. It's Darby's time. Let's talk about it. Just hit it.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
We can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Matt just sat there while
What's
Mom
up, guys?
and Dad
Everything cool?
fought.
Everything cool? How's everybody doing tonight?
You're actually really low now. I can barely hear you.
Really?
Yes.
I probably blew out my microphone. That's why. And
That's
if
what
you're
I'm thinking.
Why, it's because we have a new AEW World Champion, Darby Allin. Darby Allin climbed not just the mountain, Mount Everest. He climbed the top of AEW Mountain and planted his flag with that championship. Darby Allin wins it WrestleMania week. Tony Khan pulling the ultimate Khan job. WrestleMania week, the most subpar build in WWE WrestleMania history. We are now not talking about Oba or Brock or Punk or Roman or Cody or whoever the hell else, Randy. We're talking about new AEW World Champion Darby Allin.
They should have... Tomorrow's going to be Collision because they have to do it's live tomorrow, right?
I'm not sure.
If it's live, they should do it in Vegas. That would be like insane.
That would be nuts. I know they've made it a point. They never want to be in the same city as Mania week. They don't want to feel like they're leeching off. And I get it. I totally get it. I
respect it.
Yeah, but if they really did want to just be like, hey, come in, I get it, but I get why they don't do it.
But it's not like it's Saturday or Sunday. I would like to. Sorry, I keep talking, Nick. You go ahead.
Never in the history of this show have I had to use that banner so early in an episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Mark It Down podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined by Matt Castagnoli. Good to see you, Matt. And James Sasanti back here again to review another episode of AEW Dynamite. It was Spring Breakthru following the pay-per-view Dynasty this past Sunday. A lot of title matches tonight. As we say hello to You Know It, what's going on, dude? And we are going to start at the very top of the show with Renee Paquette. And she is near the entranceway, and she is trying to explain to us that AEW management has been unable to contact MJF because following his title defense on Sunday, he told Renee in an online segment that he was going to go completely dark this week as he was celebrating his title win. So, according to Renee, he doesn't know that Darby has not only won his match, because apparently he didn't watch it, but that Darby...
Media blackout, baby. No phone, no social media, no nothing. He was with his wife. He was having fun. He was enjoying that championship win over Kenny Omega. Still a great main event. I get it.
He's still a putz.
Yes, that is true.
So, yes, and because of that media blackout, I was saying he doesn't know Darby won his match on Sunday and is now challenging for the AEW World Championship tonight. And as Renee is explaining this, he pulls up and Renee attempts to tell him, but MJF cuts her off and instead talks about himself, obviously. And he runs down the list of people he's beaten as champion before getting to the fact that he beat Kenny Omega, mentioning obviously the fact that he kicked out of the One-Winged Angel, saying it was an ineffective move. That carny piece of shit, Don Callis, then comes over and congratulates Max on his win on Sunday before apologizing for Andrade not getting the job done. And MJF's like, what are you talking about? Like, he got the pin, right? He beat Darby. And Don kind of explains and breaks the news to Max that Andrade did not get the job done. He's like, didn't you watch? MJF was like, no, I was preparing for my main event title match. So you mean to tell me...
Honestly fair. Yeah.
He's like, so you mean to tell me Andrade didn't get the job done? And Don's like, no. So MJF gets pissed off, tells Don that Don owes him one now, and also tells him to tell Andrade, which is not the favor that Don owes him, that he will never become world champion because he never wins the big one. MJF then goes to leave when Renee finally just screams Max, as we say hello to Fernando, to get his attention, and finally tells him that Darby is cashing in his title shot tonight. And when Max asks when, she's like, actually right now. And he just goes ballistic and starts storming to the ring.
Only a heel like Renee would have the big ass grin that she had as she told MJF that it's right now.
Oh yeah, that was a real shit-eating grin. It was great.
I mean, that has to be years of pent-up frustration with Max to finally just let that out on him.
I mean, at least he never called her Tits McGee from Poor Island. It could have been worse.
Poor Island, so
he did marry Tits McGee, so I think that's just pillow talk.
Yeah. All right, so as MJF is headed to the ring, we start the show. Darby's music hits. He comes out for the match. And then MJF comes to the ring, mic in hand, cutting off his music, saying there's no way he is having an impromptu match, and saying that he has enough money where he doesn't have to do anything that he doesn't want, and says he'll sue everybody from Aubrey to Tony Khan to that perv Justin Roberts to Darby himself. And he eventually starts goading the crowd into ring the bell chant. He's like, you guys want to ring the bell? And too bad. He denies them, saying that he has an injury and it would be a real shame if AEW let him wrestle on it, and that he has to go get checked out by the trainers. He actually then turns to Darby and says that he is doing Darby a favor, telling Darby that he is not ready, and then he attempts to tell him that he is not championship material, but Darby grabs the mic out of his hand.
And the second mic, because the first mic crapped out at the worst possible moment.
Yeah, it did. And he went and stole the other one from Justin Roberts, which I thought...
The showbiz for you.
Oh, yeah.
It worked pretty well, though, the way he did it. So, through tears, Darby says it only takes one night to drop the wrestling worlds on his head, and if not tonight, then when? He says he's killed himself for this company. He went all around town hanging posters and putting up signs before the show, and he even went and planted the AEW flag on top of Mount Everest.
Are there clips of that yet, of him going around town?
Not that I've seen.
Like Bucky from last year when he was reposting the Thunderbolts poster,
yeah,
when they gave away the ending in less than a week.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any, not yet.
Yeah,
please continue, Nick.
There was a close up with Renee Paquette with Darby that came out today, so maybe some of the footage is in there. I unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to watch it yet, but
maybe it's archival. Maybe we'll get it like in a video package later.
Maybe. Yeah. So Darby demands that they ring the bell. MJF tells referee Aubrey Edwards not to, and that argument is eventually interrupted by Bryan Danielson over at commentary. And Bryan relays the fact that he has received word from Tony Khan, and Tony apparently agrees with Max that he shouldn't be forced to wrestle without being able to prepare. However, Bryan says that Tony is going to give Max plenty of time to prepare for this match, as it will take place in the main event tonight. And if MJF refuses to wrestle, he will be stripped of the AEW World Championship. And very fired up, Darby says that in the main event, he's going to kick MJF's ass and then beat him with the headlock takeover.
Everything worked here. Everything worked here. Bryan being the one to deliver the news to a happy Washington crowd. Smart move. The yes chants were perfect there. Darby delivering promo of his career, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That was true. If it wasn't honest to God real emotion, he's a much better actor than we've ever given him credit for, and he's a much better promo than we've ever given him credit for.
I got to imagine it was, because he is basically in his hometown, very close to it.
Yeah.
As he mentioned, it's very close to where he started wrestling. And yeah, I honestly think he started breaking up there, probably eventually knowing that he was going to win the title.
And everything felt so genuine to the character. This was a guy who has said it time and time again. He doesn't need the AEW World Championship to feel like he's succeeded in AEW. But the more he's put into AEW, the more he's given up for AEW, the more he's done to his body for the company. It felt like he didn't believe that anymore. And then that honest proclamation, I want the title, I need the title, felt like such a turning point for his character. It's very similar to when Orange went from not caring to he couldn't help but care about the international title.
He gives a shit. He gives lots of shits.
Lots of shits. So I thought this was such a beautiful moment for that character. And I mean, obviously this was planned, but you could not have asked for a better crowd for him in this moment.
I agree with the sentiment, and I'm certainly not ever going to, what's the word? I don't want to make grievances for men being emotional, but the only thing that maybe took me out of it a tiny bit was just his emotion. You knew that he was going to win later. You know what I mean? He kind of, not that it took away from the moment by any means, because it didn't, but he kind of buried the lead. But at the same time, I wouldn't be here watching. I wouldn't be here with you guys right now, having watched it, had I not seen it online. Someone posted it and was just like, "Oh my God, is he going to win?" And I'm like, he's totally going to win tonight. I got to tune in. I got to forget, sending in this resume to get a job. I can multitask, baby. Let's watch this main event. And that's what I did. And that's why I'm here.
I'm a big believer, and I've said this multiple times as it pertains to, I mean, Maria agrees with you. Hi, Maria.
Men don't have to cry. Stop crying. You cry, baby. No,
I'm a big believer, and AEW has shown this to me multiple times over the years now. Just because a story is predictable doesn't mean it's bad. And I'm not saying you're saying it's bad. I'm just making the general statement. We knew Hangman, God damn you, we knew Hangman was going to take the title off of Kenny. We knew it. Mm-hmm. But the story was so perfectly executed that it would have been a disappointment if it wasn't Hangman.
And we didn't know how he was going to win. A lot of people were saying that's when the one-winged angel was going to get kicked out of. Yeah. Technically it did, but it was Kenny kicking out of Hangman's one-winged angel.
Yeah. So in general, I don't oppose, I hear what you're saying. Well, I kind of knew it was coming. I could say the same the moment I saw Sting backstage. I knew it was going to happen. But
Sting was going to betray him. That's totally going to happen.
A career of being turned on leading to this moment in his retirement.
No, now he's saving it, actually. He's going to challenge Darby Allin one-on-one for the title.
There you go. So I don't care that this was telegraphed. I don't care that all the breadcrumbs were leading to this candy house. I savored every second of it. Because as someone who, I put on our story a picture of me and Darby. I've been a fan of Darby since pre-AEW. I've been a fan of him since NEW, since Northeast Wrestling. I have been rooting for this guy. I have been waiting for his ascension. And I know there are people in our comments who aren't happy that Darby is AEW champion. And I respect to you guys for feeling that way. But this was such a built-up moment for a guy who love him, hate him, or think he shouldn't even wrestle. He has worked his ass off to get to this point. My first Dynamite was Darby Allin challenging Chris Jericho for the AEW championship. And back then, I wasn't opposed to him winning the title. But now, it felt like an inevitability. It was perfect as far as I'm concerned.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people in the comments already, airing their grievances, to use Matt's word there. So
I'll fight all of you. I'll fight every single one of you. The only one who kind of scares me is Maria.
We will get to everything.
She dropped you like a bag of dirt.
I believe it.
I do just want to get through the rest of what happened, and then we will gladly get to your comments. So let's jump all the way now to the end of the show here. Right before the main event, we had a backstage interview with Darby Allin where Renee was attempting to get his final thoughts before the match. But before he can answer, Sting appears, as James mentioned. Darby asks Sting if Sting's got any for him, and Sting says, no, you already know what to do. Go out there and do it. Darby then fist bumps him and says, it's showtime. And Sting says again, no, it's not showtime. It's your time. And he sends Darby out and on his way. And then we obviously hit the actual match, MJF versus Darby Allin for the AEW World Championship. And interestingly enough, because I said this to James, I texted this to James when the show started. Interesting. We should have known the match wasn't going to happen because Aubrey Edwards was in the ring. And he goes, no, I think she'll still be in the ring at the end because she also needs her comeuppance. Against MJF.
Moment.
Yeah.
And there is a part of me, we're going to talk about it in a sec. There's a part of me, she was in on it.
Yeah.
She was absolutely in on it.
She turned a blind eye, if you will.
Quite literally twice.
Yeah.
The first time being, as the match started after the bell rang, MJF calls a timeout and takes the dynamite diamond ring out of his trunks.
Presumably off of his penis.
I really hope not. For his sake, I really hope not.
I've always wondered how they get it to stay there. So Big Hebrew takes it out and gives it to
Maybe not that big.
Aubrey, who exclaims, "That was in your pants." And she goes to give it, I guess, to Justin Roberts or somebody in the timekeepers area. And when she turns around, MJF goes over to Darby and kicks him square in the dick. Max then tries the headlock takeover, but Darby counters and throws him off the ropes. And as MJF is running back, he almost runs right into Aubrey, who has to duck into the ropes to avoid being hit. And because she is not looking, Darby is then able to drop to a knee and hit MJF with the low blow. He then gets Max up and hits a Scorpion Death drop before dragging him over to a corner and hitting a coffin drop. The first of 4 consecutive coffin drops that he hits before getting MJF in the headlock takeover and pinning him with it to become the new AEW World Champion. After that match, many of the faces in the locker room came out to celebrate, led first by Brody King, who came in and gave him a big hug, and some other people there included the Young Bucks, some of the Rascals, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly. I think I saw Evil Uno and the Outrunners in there.
Kevin Knight and Bailey.
And yes, I was going to say Speedball Mike Bailey, but very interestingly, Kevin Knight, which we'll talk about later, did say that he was going to be keeping an eye on the main event.
Yeah, multiple people did tonight. People did. Yeah.
And then obviously Sting made his way down and gave Darby a big hug before, give him the point and whatever. And Darby, who was very emotional, he could barely even hang on to the title. He was so emotional. He kept dropping to his knees and just looking at it. But Matt, you're the guest here, so I'll go to you first. I think this is a very interesting play here. I'm happy Darby won the title. I think it's the right time. I like the storytelling of it all, especially with the last few weeks with Darby. I already saw some people talking about the fact that this was only 2 minutes.
We're gonna get everybody's comments, by the way. We're buzzing right now. We're buzzing.
Yes, but that I guess that's an aspect of it. So Darby winning the 2 minutes, MJF losing, I guess, on the other side of that coin. How do you take this change in the AEW World Championship?
Overall, I think it worked for the most part. It shakes things up, keeps things unpredictable but fun. In AEW, there's a lot of story there. The fact they're in Seattle, they're close to where Darby grew up and also trained at the Buddy Wayne Academy, which he mentions. So they had a lot going for it, and I don't think it needed to be a long match. I think AEW can sometimes be exhausting. And I don't even mean that in a negative way. I just mean there's so much good wrestling, but there's only so much time. I mean, we all went together to, what was it, Full Gear in Jersey?
Yeah.
I left early. I couldn't stay for the main event. I had to drive all the way back here to Long Island, and I was sleepy. I had to stop for caffeine on the way home. And I don't know how anybody got home using transit because it was a Sunday night and it's after midnight. Just insane. So again, AEW definitely has too much of a good thing going sometimes. And I think this is a great, what's the word? Not meeting the expectations, defying expectations. That's that phrase I'm going with? Yeah, defying expectations. I know it's not the right phrase, but it's close. It's close enough. So I think this worked. They have had matches in the past. I mean, their big first one was at year 1 in AEW. They had a pay-per-view match where MJF famously said, "I'm going to beat you with a headlock takeover." And that's exactly what he did. But he did hit him with the Dynamite Diamond ring first. So that was a great callback. The fact that Darby beat him with this. And again, there's always so much wrestling. They can have a rematch somewhere down the line that is more, to the people who wanted long matches delight. So I think this worked overall. I think it exceeded expectations. No, maybe I don't know if I'm reusing that. Nah, whatever. But I think overall it worked. Sorry, I'm rambling now. And I think it was the right way to go. And it's like, what's going to happen next? I don't know, but I can't wait to see it. So there's a lot to look forward to here. Good for them. I think it worked.
James, obviously, like Matt said, this shows the unpredictability of AEW. I think they did a great job of it here. Obviously, you're very excited. So on a more level plane, how do you see this playing out?
I'm going to take off the Mark hat for a second, and I'm going to put on the Smart hat for a second. I truly believe this win and this match, how it was set up, it was very much set up throughout the entirety of MJF's title reign. For one, we've seen his ego continue to build and build to just unreasonable proportions. He cannot be riding higher than beating Kenny Omega, kicking out of the one-winged angel, and then just saying, I don't care what the hell is going on. I'll see you on Wednesday. He came in completely unprepared. And this entire title reign was founded on him being one step ahead of everybody else, using the contract, cheating to get the title, playing Hangman and all of his emotions. Every element of this title reign has been meticulously planned out by MJF, and he lost when he couldn't plan this because he wasn't prepared for it. We've seen MJF take his eye off the ball for a second and get choked out by Brody King and lose even quicker than he lost to Darby Allin tonight. Nobody complained. Maybe you guys did. Tell me, remind me. But nobody complained when Brody beat MJF in like 30
because it wasn't
seconds.
For the title. It
was a title eliminator. And I don't think people are as upset about, I mean, there are people that are upset that Darby won, but I think it's more, I can't believe he just beat MJF after what MJF did with Kenny Omega. He went through hell with Kenny. He's been going through hell for the entire title reign. So his body is at a low, his arrogance was at a high, his eye was off the ball, and this has happened before. This wasn't an instance. We've been hearing these baby faces saying it. I'm not playing your game anymore, MJF. Kenny said it the entire feud. I just went through hell with Swerve Strickland. You think I'm going to play games with you? You think I'm going to fall for your stuff? Darby almost fell for it, but then he played dirty too. And truly, in my heart, I think Aubrey turned her head on purpose. She saw that MJF did something wrong, and she was like, "Oh, what?" And that moment came perfectly. So I think this was so well built towards. And again, I would be saying this truly if anybody did it. I'm happy that it was Darby, but if anybody else was in this position and they played it this way, I think it would work too. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think the match hit. You said to me, it was so funny because right before the TBS title match, we were like, wow, this is going to go late tonight. He was like, we haven't even gotten the TBS title match. And I'm like, I think this is going to go quick because I think MJF isn't going to be ready for him. And I am. Called it. But
I had Darby winning. I just didn't have him winning that quickly.
And I felt it. I felt it in the bones in my body that aren't painted on my face. I think this worked. And again, I'm not directly addressing certain comments, but I'm going to kind of acknowledge something. I don't think this is going to be a long title reign.
Yeah,
I think MJF wins it right back, whether it's at Double or Nothing, whether it's anywhere.
It could be Double or Nothing because that's, we're not, it's Queens, but he's kind of called it like Long Island. Like technically Queens is technically on Long Island.
My one
Plus
thing is I'm not 100. I think Darby loses it very quickly. I'm not 100% convinced that he loses it to MJF.
Okay.
There is a Swerve Strickland waiting in the wings somewhere. And
I was about to say.
Granted, I hear what you're saying. An MJF win in Queens, which is Long Island adjacent, works. But if you want to feel bad that Darby loses the title, you don't do it to a guy who's going to get cheered in his hometown because MJF will get cheered.
You're right.
You do it to a guy like Swerve Strickland. And I know we all had it in our head. It was going to be MJF defending against Will Ospreay at All In. I think it's going to be Swerve versus Ospreay. Ospreay finally gets the win over Swerve.
Yeah, rematch.
And arguably, Swerve is just as big, if not bigger, a heel than MJF.
And they had a great first match. We were there for it.
That they did. So there are so many possibilities this could go. MJF wins it back. Swerve wins it. There was a great promo that we're going to talk about in a minute early in the show. And I think that set the seeds for what could be another match. So there are a lot of possibilities here. And let's be real. There is the slight possibility Darby goes to All In as champion. I don't think so, but it's possible.
There's a lot of possibilities here, and they're all exciting.
And I hate being that guy. Like, I truly don't like comparing the two companies. Whether one is hot or cold or the other is hot or cold, I try not to do it. But going into All In, we're looking at multiple possibilities for the World Championship match. Going into WrestleMania, the main event builds have been wet farts. Roman and Punk has been all right. Like, admittedly, it's been like the feud has been better than I think people expected, but has it been what everyone wanted? Randy Cody, Jesus Christ.
So Punk and Roman had the cum in my hair like comments. Like, it was just they're old. Yeah, well, yeah. Like Punk said, like when the cum dries out of your hair. That's what he said.
I think he said jizz, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. It was an odd comment to make.
All right, let's get to the comments. Rev, is there any final cherry on top of what we said that you want to add to it too?
I mean, there's a great big "I told you so" for the two of us. But I mean, look, I think we've been saying for a while at some point Darby was going to get the Mick Foley reign, and this is it. And they even did the celebration in the ring after, almost a la Mick.
But they didn't pick him up. That bummed me out.
I think that was on him. I was expecting it too. I think it was on him. I think they wanted him to have the moment with Sting. And granted, I think the moment with Sting is bigger than him getting on the shoulders and having that hero thing. But I wouldn't be shocked if, like, after the show, a picture comes out or a video comes out of him on someone's shoulder.
Yeah, my only real gripe was that the cameras weren't really in the right spot. Like, you had to see like one guy running around to get like a better shot. Like,
yeah,
they weren't really set up.
The other wrestlers kind of got in their way too, I would imagine. But
go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I think this is a great move. It's a fun move. It's an interesting move. We could have had MJF, who probably would have had great title defenses and feuds up until All In, if that's what the plan was, at least at minimum up to Double or Nothing. Like you said, James, this opens a whole new web of possibilities. We're going to get a lot of different title matches. I think, obviously, Ciampa's probably one of the first ones that are going to come up, and that's going to be really cool. I don't know if he wins, but that's definitely going to be a great match. So
Kevin Knight.
Yeah, you have Knight, who looks like he's gunning for the title. Swerve is going to come back eventually. We'll see how he plays into everything. There's no way Max takes this line down and goes away unless he has something else to film.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff. And, you know, we heard from Kenny and Will, too. They still want to go for the title.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that segment, but I didn't want to jump into it now. But, yeah.
So we have all of these different people, and this is something we talked about the other week. Everyone wants the world title. It's less of a linear thing of, okay, this person steps up and challenges and then they lose, and then this person steps up and challenges and then they lose. And no one else is really gunning for the title. Everyone wants to try to get a piece of this. Andrade included. I know he just lost, but you know, he's a guy who wants to go for the world championship, even though he hasn't been able to really do so yet. So there's a whole mess of possibilities that comes out of this, and I mean mess in a good way. And I'm really looking forward to see how Tony plays this year, because something came out today, or that was something he said a while ago, but he's like, I'm just going with my gut, and I don't really care what anybody says. And this is a real gut move here, and it's a real gutsy move as well.
I agree.
All right, let's get to these very angry comments. I don't think I've ever seen this comment section so frustrated with a booking decision in AEW.
And you guys can't be mad at us. All right. We're just happy about it. We didn't book it. Okay. So be nice. Rev is sensitive.
Part of me wants to go person by person here.
No, I think we got to go in order.
We'll go in order.
Yeah.
Starting with who came in immediately. What the fuck was that title match? Was it even 2 minutes? AEW should get criticism for this and deserves it.
So there are a lot of, and it himself has done a lot of the 2-minute comments.
Yes.
I would just like to say, look at it from this point of view.
That's what she said.
2 minutes?
Yes, continue.
This was a baby face outsmarting a heel, which is something that we don't get that often. This heel is one of the biggest complainers in not just AEW, but in professional wrestling. His character is a natural-born whiner. So he is going to make every argument that this was unfair, this was unjustified. He's going to crusade against AEW. He's going to crusade against Tony Khan. He's going to crusade against Darby Allin. This is a rare instance where a heel who is already Teflon, there is so much that you could do to MJF and he will just naturally recover from it. That he will have every ability to become more insufferable, more intolerable, angrier, more annoying than he's ever been. And it's going to be perfectly built upon off of a very frustrating situation for him. So that 2 minutes, I think, to me, does more for the story moving forward than if they went a half hour. And mind you, he went 40 minutes with Kenny on Sunday. He went 40 minutes with Kenny on Sunday. I don't think it would ring true for him to go another half hour, 40 minutes with Darby Allin here.
Agreed.
Yeah, I backed that up as well. And you mentioned it before. They set this up with Brody. We know MJF is susceptible to this. So yep. I personally don't have a problem with it. We'll get back to more of stuff in a minute. There's a lot of it. Fernando did think Dynamite was fire, despite the fact he later said he hates this. But more it comments. They might as well have had MJF just walk over and hand Darby the belt. It felt very WWE, to have a title change over in a 2-minute match. It wasn't like Brock Kofi 2 minutes.
That was literally the first thing that came to my mind. Brock Kofi and how different it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of story and nuance to this. So I'm going to have to agree with you, James. Maria said she knew Darby was going to win when Sting gave him the pep talk. Yeah,
Same.
It was a little too telegraphed. Maybe, but again, I think as James mentioned, when the story is good, I don't mind telegraphed. And I actually missed the Sting promo because for whatever reason, my HBO Max app went, "You're not connected to the internet anymore." And then I looked at all the other devices I had on the internet. I was like, "Yes, I am." And I had to hit refresh. And because I was a little bit behind, it skipped right to the start of the main event, or right to the entrances of the main event. So I was like, shit, what happened? And then I looked it up after, and I was like, oh, everyone knew Sting was there, because I was like, why didn't he get a bigger pop? That was why everyone already saw it.
What is nobody else freaking out? 2 minutes earlier.
Yeah. All right, back to it here. I say MJF can beat Kenny, but can't hang 2 minutes with Darby.
We've been over it.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope you heard what I said.
I think we've answered most of these at this point. Darby being champ is okay, but the way matters. It was a squash. I never really like when people call matches like this squash matches.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, please.
I always feel like squash matches are against local talent. Like that's a squash match, or like when somebody gets really buried. I guess this kind of is. But,
Brock Kofi was a squash.
Yeah.
You never believed that Kofi had a chance against Brock. And they made that aware. They made that apparent. This is not a squash because this was a guy outsmarting another guy who had just cheated. This was a play on a situation. And all the respect in the world to you guys if you said this just didn't work for you, but we also have to acknowledge the realities of what it was or what it wasn't. And it wasn't really a squash. It was a quick match, but it wasn't a squash.
Yeah, squash is a word that has been slanderized isn't the right word, but it's become
Misused.
vastly misused. Yeah. Like the word like literally or something like that. Yeah.
Phrasing. Next.
See, Fernando, who I know is not happy. We have a backyard wrestler as AEW champion. This sucks. I think we went over Darby not being a backyard wrestler last week. But
We did.
He won with a wrestling move.
Yeah, he did. Headlock takeover. I literally called you. Headlock takeover.
Yeah. And I said it was always going to be one. Back when, after that first MJF match happened, hell, MJF beat Darby at least twice with a headlock takeover to defend his championship.
I'd actually, for all of you guys that are not fans of Darby or don't think Darby is a good wrestler, go back and watch the previous Darby MJF match. Those are perfect examples of Darby actually being a more than competent to very, very good wrestler's wrestler. So go check them out.
Go watch Darby Walter.
Oh God,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maria saying Kenny Omega losing just for Darby to win is a trash decision.
Okay, hold on. Everybody, holster your guns right now. Nobody is a bigger Kenny Omega fan than me. In this pod, in this world, I'm the Kenny guy. My heart was breaking for him on Sunday, but the promo tonight, completely, it's gonna happen. It's not if, it's when. Kenny Omega is going to win the AEW World Champion one more time. And 2, the way I see it, Darby could not have won without Kenny having the match that he had with MJF on Sunday. This was every anime fight that you've ever seen where Goku comes in and saves the day at the end after the Z Fighters take the villain to the limit. Okay? I'm not comparing MJF to Frieza, but let's just say we needed Vegeta to die first.
I understood some of those words.
I got it.
Couple of similar comments here from and Fernando. Give Darby the Ciampa treatment, just a 1-week reign.
I'm okay with it.
Fernando saying MJF better win the AEW championship back ASAP, or at least at Double or Nothing, or it might take a little break from AEW until he loses it. Wow.
That is a bold
harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
harsh.
Harsh and bold. But I think we all agree that Darby's probably not going to have a very long reign here. He doesn't need it, and it's just, this was, I think, mostly about the moment. We'll see how the reign goes, and I hope it's very good, but I think he's probably going to have a pretty quick one here. All right, it's saying 2 minutes. My wife says that's just way too quick. He also said that
there are lots of supplements. That's all, no shame.
Just don't get them in the gas
baby.
station. He also said 2 minutes makes any story kind of pointless. It was just like a handover. Storyline promotion all wiped out by the 2 minutes.
I don't know about that. Again, they have history and they can have a rematch.
Yeah.
If the rematch was 2 minutes, then I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, and I agree. Look, nobody. This is gonna draw heat. Nobody felt this way when Goldberg did this to Brock. Everyone looked at that match and like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. He outplayed him. And that's what this was.
I actually hated that one, but
you didn't like the first Goldberg Brock?
It was okay.
You mean the second one?
Well, all right. The
Maybe
first one of the
one.
modern.
In the return.
Yeah.
I don't remember. They all run together at this point.
The one where Goldberg just blew through Brock and survived. He's talking WrestleMania 19 as the first one. He's being like,
not that. I'm not talking about that one. Yeah, no, I know which one I'm talking about.
Brock just shoved him, kind of laughed, and then Goldberg got up and speared the crap out of him, and then jackhammered him and won.
It was okay.
Yeah,
It was my favorite.
You're nuts. But anyway,
it was great. But then everything after that was the exact same thing, essentially.
Yeah.
For Goldberg.
Yeah. Their Mania match was good.
Yes, that too. But I've only watched it twice, and I didn't like it as much the second time, so I'm not going to watch it the third time.
That's fair.
I really enjoyed it the first time, though.
See, it's saying also Hechicero as a champion got pinned tonight too. It's the CMLL championship. But they don't care as much about the titles as American.
That's
companies.
fair. That's fair.
That's why
and he's a CMLL guy versus an AEW guy. It's how it works. It's like
he's both.
The Ring of Honor guys but come on, he's from CMLL and he's the CMLL champ. It wasn't like he's the Ring of Honor. It's not like he's the AEW TNT champion and he's getting pinned by Will Ospreay. Then I get what the hell's going on.
I do get what you're saying.
On that note, we're gonna probably move on. I just want to, or you guys can keep going through the comments by all means, but I'm gonna dip out now. But before I go, I just want to say thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the show with Nick and James. Shout out to my friend Brady. He's the one who told me about the Darby thing, and that's why I watched. I have a new Instagram called Rant Matt Rant. Well, I'll be doing daily rants of just nonsensical stuff. It'll be lighthearted for the most part. And if there's any wrestling views on that, I will connect it to our Market Down pod. I'll add that as a collab so you can see that there as well. James, can I tell you what you're going to be doing on Sunday? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it. I think the crowd knows.
James will be at WrestleMania if you haven't heard. We're very jealous, but also very happy. He's taking his dad. He's not taking one of us. He's taking his dad. That's
how dare I?
That's a good son. It's a good son. So he will be there on Sunday. Hopefully you can catch him. Who knows what he's got in store for that. I'm probably not going, but I might be able to scrounge up something. If I do, I will let you all know. And on that note, I will hit the leave studio button and not the end stream button, and we should be good, right?
Yes, sir.
Should be good.
All right.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was lovely, and I really have to upload the interviews with Tekla and Lee Moriarty, so I will hopefully do that before Mania. I have work in the morning, so toodaloo.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Bye. Yes.
Appreciate your time as always, Matt. Be sure to, like you said, check out our Instagram. He does a lot of good work over there for us. As we get back into the comments here, Fernando was saying, I don't want the World Championship team contaminated with that garbage wrestling style. Well, all right, Fernando's just not a fan of Darby. And I think
everyone's allowed their opinion.
Yep. Continuing to harp on the fact that the story was just killed by the 2-minute match. But I think that they told more story in that 2 minutes than some matches tell in, 12.
Yeah, I agree.
We have somebody named Eric saying AEW saw Pat McAfee's storyline and said, "Hold my beer. You are a fool." MJF should have been champion until losing it to Will Ospreay at All In. I mean, yeah, I know we all thought that was a possibility, especially after he beat Kenny. But like we said, this opens up a whole new door of possibilities, and we can still have that match at All In.
Yeah,
like it's
MJF could easily win it back. Think Drew winning the title from Brock at one WrestleMania, almost making it the entire year to face Bobby at the next WrestleMania, but in between, he lost the title to Randy before going through it again. And granted, he went into the next Mania as challenger again, but sometimes it's just about the what and not the how. Sometimes. It's not about how we get there. It's just that we get there.
Yeah, at least in terms of All In, because I think the how for this match is basically the entire point. Yeah. What's also great too, but like the how in terms of Darby versus MJF and how they built it up is, I think, incredibly important to this moment happening and it being as hard hitting as it is.
And let's acknowledge it. Today is April 15th. All In is in August. May, June, July, August.
End of August, I might add.
End of August. That's 4 months to either get the title off of Darby or to make it a worthwhile storyline. We'll see. We've never had a multi-man match as the main event of All In for the world title. I'm not saying that's what they're going to go with, but that's how many good challengers there are. So let's see.
It's saying he needs a Valium and a spam bot to sing 2 minutes.
Well done.
And Maria saying this is worse than Lex Luger beating Hulk Hogan at Nitro.
You guys have very strong opinions, and I love it. Even if I don't agree with you guys, you are passionate tonight, and I am here for it. I'm going to fight you all, but I am here for it.
Yeah, look, this is a crowd that doesn't like Darby, and we do. And
this is a good one from Eric. Samoa Joe is just going to win the title in New York again.
I mean, realistically, I didn't mention Joe just because I don't know what his status is, but Joe is a guy, if and when he comes back, is probably going to be inserted into the world title picture.
Yeah, he's got a claim on the title. And if anything, guys, just be happy MJF isn't champion right now, so he can't pull off the three-peat of losing to Joe.
Good point there. All right, let's talk about some other stuff. We spent 45 minutes on this. I think we're okay.
All right, but we went through like 4 segments for these 45
very
minutes.
True. All right, so after we had the initial Darby and MJF face-off, we went to a pre-recorded segment from After Dynasty where Tony Schiavone was attempting to interview Kenny Omega as he went into the trainer's room. And Tony's like, hey, how you doing? And Kenny tries to answer, and he just goes, look, Tony, I'm sorry. I got nothing. Do you mind? And Tony's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So Kenny goes.
I loved it. We've seen it with sports players all the time. It's like, I don't want to be. I'm only being interviewed right now because I don't want to get fined.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Kenny then goes into the trainer room where he sits down next to Will Ospreay. And the two start talking, asking if each other's okay. Will's like, obviously, I'm not. You know, things didn't really go our way tonight. No, they didn't. Kenny says he feels like he let everybody down. But Will says he was there when Kenny lost to Okada in the Tokyo Dome, and Kenny doubted himself then. Kenny replies that was 10 years ago, and then it might be over for him. But it's not over for Will, as he has the heart and the passion to lead this company and be the next great wrestler for AEW. Will tells Kenny that it's not over for him, and that his goal is still to become the AEW World Champion, and it should be Kenny's as well. And then Will gets up to go, with Kenny telling him that he will always have his back, as Will kind of kisses his forehead and leaves. Kenny then starts talking to himself, telling himself that maybe there is still a chance, and he kind of repeats that a couple of times, and then he gets up and he asks the camera to leave and gives him some time. So, James, I did kind of a quick summary on this because there was so much talking at the beginning. I didn't get everything down. But I know you were very excited about this. I know you liked this segment a lot, so the floor is yours.
I love this. I said it before. I touched on it before when we were discussing other stuff with like challengers and everything. I fully believe this was, put a pin in it, Kenny Omega will win the AEW championship once again sometime in the future. I'm going to say something that hurts even me to say. As happy as I would have been for Kenny to have won the title from MJF, as happy as I would be to see Kenny Ospreay at All In, if I'm going to be very, very, very honest with myself, it would have felt very hollow if he did win the title from Max. The feud had like a 3 to 4 week build. It didn't have a lot going for it. They really just did it to harp on the god of professional wrestling versus the devil.
Yeah, which was a cool build. Like it was a very boxing like build. Where you just take guys with 2 cool nicknames and are also good fighters, and you throw them together, and Showtime or HBO makes a bunch of money.
And I'm so happy that the match happened. And I would love if they do have a third match, Kenny does eventually beat Max. But as much as I would have loved it, I'm okay that it didn't happen. Because when Kenny does win the title again, I want it to mean something. I want it to come off of him going on a tear, going on a run. Let's not forget, he was gone for a few weeks before he got the number 1 contender spot again. It's not like there was a huge build of momentum here. He beat Swerve in a good match, a very good match, and then it was all the way to MJF. And I think when he does win it, it's going to feel very special. And I don't think this would have felt special outside of Kenny Omega won. Yay. So I love this promo. I love that it's Will being the one to get into Kenny's head and convince him he can still do it. Because in so many ways, Will followed in the footsteps of Kenny Omega. He was a gaijin in Japan. He was an outsider. He did everything Kenny did. And their feud over the years has been incredible. And then their reconciliation was great. So I love that it was Will, who is arguably the biggest babyface in AEW right now, to shake the cobwebs out of Kenny's eyes, to shake the fear and the disillusionment out of Kenny's heart.
The doubt.
So I don't know where Kenny goes from here. I don't. I think he's got to wait a little bit. I don't want to see him go after Darby. Arguably, let him go after whoever takes the title at All In. And I'm not even saying right after, obviously. Let that champion have a moment. But maybe sometime at the end of the year or early next year, Kenny finally gets the title. I would love to see, I don't know if you saw online, a certain Golden Star is rolling around in a ring right now, training and getting ready.
Crazy bastard.
He's insane. He is insane. But if he's going to do it, I would love a golden reunion.
Little tag title run.
Would love it.
Keep them a little more fresh, considering the wear and tear they've had, the mileage.
Let Kenny and Ibushi take the titles off of anybody. I mean, it's not going to be FTR. It's going to be Cope and Christian who does it. But let them get the titles at some point. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, if Ibushi, can go, cool. But we'll see what happens. A couple comments here. Marie saying Ciampa versus Darby. We're about to talk about Ciampa in a second, but I do obviously think that is going to be a matchup that happens in the near future. It's saying he's back. He asked Luna for a Valium and she gave him 3.
This is going to be a fun chat.
Yep.
It's going to be a fun chat.
All I'll say is be careful. All right, so following that segment, we went to what became our first match of the evening, which saw the aforementioned Tommaso Ciampa face off against Dezmond Xavier of the Rascals. I'll just jump to the end here. We're following a Project Ciampa that literally knocked Xavier out.
Yep.
Just completely ragdolled him. So Ciampa had to set him up in the middle of the ring like a doll, and then he moved back, exposed the right knee, and hit Xavier with it to pick up the W. And after the match, Ciampa got a mic, and he said that this is the example that he needed to set following his recent losses. And he says he came to AEW where the best wrestle to win all of the gold. And if he isn't being specific enough, he called out Darby Allin and MJF, telling whoever won that he was coming for them and the AEW World Championship. So, yes, as Maria mentioned, and I think we've kind of alluded to, Ciampa seems like a great early challenger for Darby here. I think that match will slap. But in the meantime, James, it was a decent match. I think they were put in a bit of a rough spot crowd-wise because the crowd was very amped for what seemed to be a title match that Darby was probably going to win. And they kind of, had to come down a bit, and it was in this slot. But a good match for both of these guys. And like Ciampa said, I think this match did what it needed to do because he had to set an example.
No, I completely agree. First of all, we had NXT Black and Gold versus NXT 2.0 here.
I'm glad Black and Gold won, baby.
I know you are. I enjoyed the match for what it was. It was quick. I feel like Dez looked good. He got some spots in. He was diving. He was there was one really good sequence that ended with him just hitting a dirty cutter onto Ciampa, and I thought that was great. And Ciampa looked like a stud. He looked like
a psycho killer.
Yeah, a psycho killer. He looked like a winner here. I'd say arguably. I'm going to say something that might be a little hot take, and tell me what you think about it. I wish they had done more for Ciampa since debuting. And I know he debuted winning the TNT title. Like, I know that. But he has not beaten anyone on the main event level. I love Mark Briscoe, but he's very clearly upper mid-card.
Yeah, I was going to say Briscoe is probably his best win.
Yeah, but he's lost to Fletcher. He didn't win in the Battle Royal. Not Battle Royal, in the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
He hasn't picked up a major win. And while that's fine, like, you could build to that. The perception that they're building with him right now is he's a mid-carder. He's an upper mid-carder. I am waiting. I would love to see Ciampa versus Kenny. Those knees going at it. A Project Ciampa versus a V-Trigger. Give it to me. Give me Ciampa versus Ospreay. Give me Ciampa versus so many people that I haven't seen him wrestle because he was in NXT and WWE. So I would love to see him on a main event scene. I'm not saying I need Ciampa to win the world title. I would mark the fuck out.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great, but it's a crowded scene right now.
But I don't need it. But I would like to believe there's a chance he could win it. I want to believe he's capable of it. Give me Ciampa versus Moxley. Somehow I think that's a match that never happened.
Not to my recollection, unless it happened somewhere in the Indies, God knows how long ago. But
right. So I want to believe he could be a main eventer. I love Dez. I love the Rascals. I'm not saying anything shocking here, but Dez isn't exactly primed to, like, he's not like, oh my God, he beat Dezmond Xavier. It's like, of course he beat Dezmond Xavier.
Yeah.
So I would like for him to get a big win. I don't know over who. Maybe Orange, and that pains me to say.
He did beat Claudio.
He did beat Claudio. But even that was a triple threat, wasn't it?
No, he defended the title against Claudio, and then he defended it in a triple threat, and then whoever won.
Fletcher.
Did Fletcher win in that triple threat? Was that?
I don't think so. No, he won after.
Yeah.
So
I'll look it up, but.
So yeah, I enjoyed this for what it was. I really enjoyed the promo. You know, like it feels like the Ciampa who was going after Goldie in NXT. But I
that bald-headed fuck.
When he did it to Gargano, I was cheering. I have no shame in it. I was a Ciampa guy. So yeah, that's just me. I wish that they had done more to establish him as a credible threat to the world title. And again, I'm saying this recognizing he won the TNT title.
Yeah. So looking at the list of champions, it looked Ciampa did lose it to Fletcher. I don't think he got pinned.
No. He lost to Fletcher in a one-on-one match. That was not a triple threat.
Then was it? Oh, maybe the triple threat was Ciampa, Claudio. Oh, it was Ciampa, Claudio, and Roddy, and he defended, and then he lost to Fletcher in the next defense.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think realistically, like you said, Ciampa is probably an upper mid carder, which isn't a bad thing. TNT,
no, not at all.
International, maybe the Continental. He'll be in the C2 later this year, and it'll slap. Don't be surprised if you see him in the Owen either. But I'm excited to see him get a shot here at the AEW World Championship against Darby. I think it's a great spot for him right now. But and I agree with you as well. He could use some bigger wins to help establish him.
Yeah, I don't even know that he's gonna get the title match. He might just get an eliminator.
Oh, that's possible as well. He might need a bigger win to get a title match. But I also think Darby might be one of those fighting champion type of things, especially if he's going to have a short reign. And he might not do eliminators. He might just be like, fuck it. You want some, come get some, to borrow a line.
Yeah.
To hit some comments here, making the jokes here, Ciampa's going to win the title for a week. Yeah.
It's in his wheelhouse.
Fernando saying the Rascals are taking too many losses on TV. I agree. They're having a balance. They're like 500, I think, which you can argue whether or not that's too many.
And this is very, unfortunately, very Tony Khan. He debuts people who get a bunch of in quick succession wins, and then he kind of puts them through the shine is off. Now you're going to prove to me that you're willing to work for me. And then after a while, I'm going to put you in a better spot.
Yeah.
We've seen it time and time again.
Hell, I think Ciampa's kind of going through it right now. He maybe on the more of the tail end of it, but I think it's fine. The Rascals, they've gotten some feud wins. They've gotten some big dubs. I think didn't they beat FTR recently?
They won an eliminator against FTR, but they also had help, I think, from the Bucks.
Yeah, they did.
A win is a win, but yeah,
they still got to win over the tag champs. And they're getting some good shots here, too. Myron had a match against Okada last week for the International Championship, and I know he ended up losing, but that's a pretty big title shot against one of the best of all time. So I think Tony's using them well, and then you could quibble whether or not you think they're taking too many losses. It's completely understandable.
Yeah.
Maria calling Dezmond a very special talent. I think all the Rascals are.
No, I agree. What's so unique about them and how they present themselves and how they wrestle, any one of them could be the single star.
Mm-hmm.
Dez is a former NXT North American champion. Wentz is a former TNA X Division champion. Myron Reed is the youngest of them, and he's getting matches against Okada. So, like, all of them could be the guy. Or all three of them could be trios champions. Or any combination of two of them could go for the tag titles. Although, realistically, it should be Wentz and Xavier that go for the tag titles.
Yeah.
And I am counting the days until we can get Trey Miguel in AEW. Just counting the days.
Well, if that Paramount deal goes through, they probably won't give a shit.
Right?
You know it, asking if you mentioned Hechicero losing tonight. You did, buddy. Don't worry. We'll get to it.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Yep. Hey, what up, Tyler? Good to see you.
Hi,
dude. Bringing
Tyler.
up Ciampa versus Darby. Yeah, we're definitely getting that, and I'm very excited for it. And he thinks he's going to switch from my AEW to HBO Max.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm still doing HBO Max. I haven't switched over to my AEW simply because I watch so much on HBO Max. But once certain contracts are signed and once things change, we'll see what I decide to do. But it's my main concern is all these AEW pay-per-views that I've purchased on HBO Max, where are they going to go once HBO Max goes away?
Yeah, that's a good point. I've been buying my pay-per-views through Amazon just because I get HBO Max through my cable subscription.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to put it on the cable bill because it's not just my cable subscription.
Yeah.
And so that they're all there. But I, like you said, I use HBO Max for a multitude of things, not just AEW, but I use it for, sports, the hockey, the basketball, the U.S. Soccer teams have a contract with Turner. And then, you have all the movies on there. All the Lord of the Rings extended cuts are on there.
Yep.
You have...
We got to talk about the... We got to talk about the new Aragorn casting.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on a different show. They also have not as much as they used to, but they have a decent chunk of the DC stuff on there. They used to have all of it, which was great. Now they only have like half of it. Yeah.
But I do get the switch. It's probably the right move. But for now, I'm content.
Yeah, Tyler's saying it's $20 a month. I don't know what I pay for it, but again, I have it through cable, so I think it's a little less. But then again, I'm paying for cable. All right. After this match, we had an in-ring promo from FTR and Big Stoke.
This was weird for me.
It was a bit of a weird one. It was just they just came down to talk shit,
and I'm cool with that. It felt like something was missing. It felt like either someone should have interrupted them, or it felt like they needed to put a bigger stamp on it.
Yeah, right. It felt weird. Maria asked, okay, so Maria accidentally tattoos Aaron Gordon, and I'm like, Aaron Gordon plays for the Denver Nuggets, but I'm assuming she means who's Aragorn, so I don't remember the actor's name, but it's the dude who played Christian Grey.
Yeah, Jamie Dornan.
Yeah.
Jamie Dornan. So if you've ever watched 50 Shades of Grey, he's done other stuff, but if you've ever watched 50 Shades of Grey, that's our new Aragorn. I will say, he does look like a young Vigo.
He kind of does.
I think he's a better actor than anyone's given him credit for. I just didn't want it to not be Vigo.
Me neither. But all right, let's get to this promo. So Dak starts things off saying he's read and heard all the complaints about the match on Sunday, and it just seems to him that the fact that FTR won again has made everybody angry. Well, yeah, dude, that's the point. He gets it, though, because everyone loves an underdog story because they think they can relate to it when they really can't because they're all actually just losers. And speaking of losers, he calls out Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, saying they'll never get another shot at the tag titles so long as FTR are champions. Stokely then gets on the mic, and then after a lot of booing and shit talking with the crowd, he says he's heard that the sickos know everything from wrestling to religion, so they definitely have heard the story of David and Goliath. Calls FTR the Goliath, and says that there's a lot of wannabe. First, he said a lot of Milli Vanillis back there, which is
that was
great.
A good one. That is a reference that only Stoke would make, and it was so perfect.
Yeah, and you have to be over the age of 30 to get that.
Yeah, you have to be.
Because I know who Milli Vanilli is, but I have never heard a single one of their songs.
Yeah, same. I know who they are. I know what the reference is about them, but I've never paid attention to Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, I never went and dug into the history of it all.
Yeah.
So But anyway, what he means by that is there's a lot of wannabe Davids in the back, from Brodito to the Young Bucks. But every David that steps up gets bitch slapped back down. With nobody left in the locker room to challenge FTR, Stokely knows that Tony Khan is going to do what he does best, which is go to CMLL or New Japan or sign the best tag team he can. But anybody he brings in, they'll all still fall to the giants that are FTR. And
Go ahead.
I was like, this is where it kind of, I think, fell off for me, because Cash got up on the mic to close things out. And he's first asked for a moment of silence for the careers of Cope and Cage, which
fine. Yeah,
everyone
fine.
booed.
Yeah.
And then he goes, we're feeling generous tonight, so instead of giving you a 5-second pose, we're going to give you a 10-second pose. So then they do, and they all just kind of flip off the crowd and like pose really weird. And then Cash is like, all right, thanks, Washington, for your time. Have a good night, everybody. And their music hits and they walk off.
Yeah. Something else needed to happen. A babyface needed to, either Cope and Christian needed to come and, interrupt it. A new challenging team needed to interrupt it, or just something. It fell flat to me, and I feel bad. They should be riding so high right now. They beat the Bucks and Cope and Christian. So, I got so distracted by Maria's comment as it came up.
It was really vanilla.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I feel bad for FTR, but this wasn't it for me. Can I put my conspiracy theory hat on for a second?
Sure thing.
A certain tag team just lost their tag titles in another company.
I'm assuming you mean in TNA.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, we're talking about maybe building towards a TLC match with Cope and Christian.
Oh man, you gonna bring them in too?
Yes. either don't put the Bucks in it at all, or have the Hardys just take the Bucks spot. I will go as far as to say the Hardys don't need to win. Just have them in the match.
I mean, Paquette put 4 teams in it. I know it's traditionally 3, but I mean,
there have been TLC tag title matches that have had 4 teams. TLC 3, which was that was the one where He Who Shall Not Be Named was in the match, teaming with Jericho.
Oh, is that the one where Jericho had that crazy concussion?
Yeah, and TLC 4, which was Jeff Hardy and RVD, Bubba Ray and Spike Dudley, Christian and Jericho, and then Kane, who was supposed to be teaming with Hurricane, but Hurricane got taken out, so it was just Kane by himself. So there's a precedent of 4 teams in TLC.
I know it already got done at WrestleMania, but it would be really funny if they just kind of did it again with the Hardys at All In.
I'm okay with it. I don't think it's going to happen because, they're going to be at WWE World. They're very clearly trying to angle their way back into WWE, I think, and good for them. Yeah. But the Hardys got to retire the Dudleys. I would love if one last time we got the Hardys versus Edge and Christian.
It would be really cool. Even if it's not one-on-one, just...
Yeah.
Put them in a match together.
Absolutely. So really good.
Yeah, to get to the comments here, because Mario was just it was just heels bragging about what they did in reference to this promo. And yeah, it was. And honestly, I think Dax cut in a fine promo. What he said was fine. Stoke, I thought, was great. He usually is. It's just, I don't know, whatever Cash did, just kind of, it didn't put the exclamation point on what I thought was building.
He's not as strong a promo.
Yeah, which is usually why he kind of ends up opening and they let Dax close. Or hell, so there's a lot of times Cash doesn't even speak. And I don't think Cash is bad necessarily. But obviously Dak and Stoke are the better too.
Can I tell you one thing that would have been great? It's so small, but I think it would have saved the whole thing. It's going to sound so silly because it's such a small change. If after they cut during the 10-second pose. The camera fades to black, they cut to commercial, or they cut to the next segment, and all 3 of them are just deadpan angry staring at the camera. I know it sounds so silly, but I think it would have saved it, because them being okay guys, later, it's okay, you fucking dorks. You were already you're a dork for doing the 10-second pose, But at least it's like you're trying to just further humiliate your rivals. And that's the last thing we see. No, the last thing we see is you guys saying, bye. It's like, that was weak to me. So I'm not saying that would have been the only thing that could have made this better, but I weirdly think if you just chopped off the end, it would have played a little different.
Yeah. I think it would have been better than just being like, thanks, Washington, have a good night. Like,
Yeah.
I understand they said it sarcastically, but yeah, it kind of made them look like dorks a little bit.
No, I agree. And I'm going to agree with some of these comments. So go ahead.
You know what hitting us with some Milli Vanilli. So we will briefly explain who Milli Vanilli was.
They were a duo, and it had to be the late 80s or early 90s. It was the early 90s, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
That were outed as having been doing, like, they were not actually singing. They were two people who were dancing, but were lip syncing all of their songs. It was other people who were singing for them. And then once this came out, they were like, they were gone. Their careers were over. So the idea of calling anyone Milli Vanilli is that you're just a fake, you're a phony, you're a rice-a-roni, jabroni. So that's what that was. And in 2026, the year of our Lord, I don't know who that was for, but I understood it.
It's Stoke always pulls out like old school references like that. They're usually rap ones, or sometimes they're old R&B ones, but Milli Vanilli's a good one. I like it.
Yeah.
You know what, saying 10 seconds is still better than 2
Jesus
minutes.
Christ. The volume has not kicked in.
Yeah. Fernando saying that he thought the Bucks were going to interrupt. I thought somebody was. The Bucks were the most likely candidate.
The Bucks, Cope and Christian, whoever knew somebody.
Cope is on tomorrow night. So that's why I actually thought maybe he might come out and try to jump them again. But
yeah,
I guess let it breathe a little. Saying FTR's new entrance song is going to be Girl, It's True, I heard, which is the Milli Vanilli song, and the crowd could lip sync the words.
That would actually be fucking hilarious.
Comment from a new person here on the block, Japanese Women Wrestling Movement. I like the name.
Hi there. Yeah.
Hello. Now that Darby Allin is the new AEW World Champion, I think Tony Khan will try to compete and take attention away from WrestleMania weekend.
That's what I said. I think that I don't want to say him winning the title was done purely to get a buzz during WrestleMania week. I think Darby should have always been world champion. Guys, this is not an invitation, but I do think the timing was very intentional. I think this was them trying to we're all talking about AEW in the middle of WrestleMania week. That's huge.
Yeah. And while our comment section maybe isn't thrilled about the storytelling leading up to it, or the fact that you might think it was kind of thrown away by the length of the match, I think even in this one instance where it was only maybe 3 weeks where Darby was really like, I'm going for the title and I need it. But even in that 3 weeks, the build to it was great. Yeah. So I think the fact that you can juxtapose what just happened to the build to AEW, in WWE, which we don't love doing here, but like people are going to do it, putting one next to the other. I think Tony's going to be like, people are going to compare, and I think they're going to see my product is better. Yeah. And that's they probably went in, it was a factor in what they were doing.
Even if you don't want to say better, it's more exciting at the moment.
Yeah.
It's definitely more exciting at the moment. So all in all, it's something we always preach here on the pod. There are so many options for things that you should or could be excited about. If you're like, as many of our viewers are not crazy about the Darby win, I hope they're excited for WrestleMania this weekend.
Yeah.
At
least the rest of AEW. I thought the rest of the show was decent.
And I said it when we did it on Sunday. I covered 2 different pay-per-views over the weekend last weekend. I did TNA by myself. I did TNA Rebellion, and we did AEW Dynasty. It is a smorgasbord right now of things to enjoy. So there are a lot of world champions in professional wrestling right now. You have your pick. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Darby Allin, Mike Santana, Bandito.
Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D'Angelo, Hechicero, Callum Newman. There are a lot of world champions.
Yeah. There's so much wrestling, like we always say. Like, you're gonna find something you like. As we say hello to D-View, what's going on?
Hi, D-View.
Darby winning reminded him of when Mick Foley won the WWF title. And yeah, that's something we've been saying here now for months.
Yeah.
That when Darby wins, it's gonna feel like the Mick title win, and it absolutely did. At least to us.
And it'll probably be like the Mick title reign too. So
Yeah.
you know,
Wasn't that only like a week?
It was a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maria's saying, I believe in regards to Cash, there's a good reason why he hardly speaks. He's terrible. He's okay.
There's always going to be one who's slightly better.
Yeah.
You
But that's
know,
why Stoke is there, so that he doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know it's saying some of us are old. Dude, if we need the throwback reference, I know you're on speed dial in there.
And you're not old. You are seasoned.
Yeah. All right, let's keep things rolling. Next up, we had our TNT Championship match. This was the first of 3 title matches in the evening. I saw the new TNT champion, Kevin Knight, facing off against Claudio Castagnoli.
Can I point something out that I don't know if you saw, or maybe everybody did, but I'm the only one. Like I'm excited to say it.
Go for it.
During Knight's entrance, he did not regard Speedball. And I think I even saw Speedball say, like I couldn't hear it, but I think I saw him mouth, "Don't leave me hanging." And Kevin just keeps going. Not like he ignored, like he looked at him and did it. It was just like he just did not look back at him.
Yeah, they usually do like the New Japan handshake or whatever their handshake is. And yeah, thinking back on it, he did not give him the dab.
Yep.
So
I think that's, and especially with the promo afterwards, we're speeding towards something. We're jet speeding towards something.
Yes, we are. All right, to jump to the end of the match here, after Claudio used the giant swing, he tried to step through for the sharpshooter, but Knight was able to prevent him from doing so. So Claudio audible, shimmying Knight back towards the corner a little bit and attempted to catapult it into the turnbuckle. However, Knight was able to land on the top rope, which must have been slippery because he almost slipped, and they almost messed up a spot on that top rope earlier, so something was going on over there. And Knight came back down with a leaping lariat onto Claudio. Knight then climbed back up to the top and hit the UFO splash to pick up the dub and defend his title. After the match, Knight grabbed the mic, and after shouting out Claudio, interesting shouting out the heel, Knight mentioned that he lost his trios titles the day before winning the TNT title, telling Speedball to stop beating himself up because he doesn't blame him, saying that when one door closes, another opens. Or at least that's what he meant to say. I think he fucked it up. The Jet, he says, is riding high, so he's going to be keeping an eye on the main event because 2-belt Jet sounds pretty good.
So, couple things here. Everything about this promo was heelish.
Yep.
Let's hear it from my opponent that I beat. Like that, it didn't feel genuine. It felt passive aggressive.
Yeah.
It felt very insincere. Yeah, I know he's beating himself up back there, and I get it. I get why he's beating himself up there. Why? Are you saying it's his fault that you guys lost? Everything about this promo is meant to signal he's gunning for the heel turn. And I guess our comment section is surprised by that. But I feel like we've been calling that for a while now.
Yeah, he's been getting increasingly cockier and cockier, going all the way back, I think, to just before the Swerve match. I really think it started when Hangman dubbed them. Yeah. Swerve telling him it was that same promo backstage where Swerve came over and told Knight like he was going to be next, and then Hangman came over and was like, "Hey guys, we're going for the trios titles," and then they won because Powerhouse Hobbs was leaving. But it was that then led to the Swerve match where Knight wanted to prove himself, and Swerve essentially sunned him in the end, and then it's been slowly building more and more and more where he's becoming more arrogant to the point where Shivani said something about it on commentary. So it's definitely something they're starting to actively push and tell the story of.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get there eventually. Now, it thinks that maybe they're just trying to throw us off here and Speedball is going to be one who turns. But I think as we talked about before, Speedball is a much better face than he is a heel, whereas it appears that Knight will be a way better heel.
Yeah.
Even though he's a good face, he's got that swagger about him to turn heel.
It feels like he's excited to turn heel.
Yeah.
If Kevin Knight, the wrestler, is waiting to be unleashed, and he's not going to be able to do that until he turns heel. So let's see. Guys, if we're wrong, we will happily eat some humble pie here, but I really think it's going to be Kevin Knight who turns heel and not Speedball.
Yeah, even though, it's saying his Speedball's jealousy is getting to him, I think I don't want to say it's not Knight's jealousy, but like he's going to, I think, eventually see that or think that Speedball's beneath him or something like that. So,
and I don't think Speedball is going to be like a passive babyface. I think he's going to take issue with some of the things Knight is saying, and he's going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. But I do think it's Knight who's going to be the antagonist here.
Yeah. Hey, because saying it's going to bother Speedball seeing Knight's seceding. It's weird. Like, they did do a backstage thing. I think it was online after Knight won the title. And Speedball's like, I wish I won, but hey, we're getting all the titles. You got that. I'm going to try to go for the AEW World Championship now. And Jet Speed's going to get all the gold.
Wow,
and
he's really just skipping over the Continental title, that international title.
But he was involved in that Kenny and MJF feud. He's mentioned before he wants to get the title. It'd be kind of cool. I know it's a face-face thing, but I could see Darby going against a couple of faces during his reign just because he's cool, and Speedball being one of those guys. But yeah,
that could be an issue too, where he gives Speedball the match, and Knight's like, I'm the TNT champion. Why is he getting it?
Yeah,
I can see that.
So yeah, I'm trying to remember, James, when we saw him in House of Glory, was he face or heel?
Speedball?
No, Knight.
Knight was a face at that point, but this was like a year plus ago, like maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while back. So I just couldn't remember off the top of my head. Thank you. But you could tell, like, the level of swagger he's got, he's going to be a good heel.
Absolutely. Rev, before we continue, I do need to just point out hi to everybody who's in our chat tonight, everybody who's watching tonight. We have a lot of you guys. I know this is a big night for AEW. I'm going to hit you with the corny thing, but I got to say it. If you're one of our new viewers, if you're checking us out for the first time, please do not hesitate to maybe hit that subscribe button. Do not hesitate to hit that like button. We clearly have a very energetic crowd who are a lot of usuals for us. We love our people, and we would love if you stayed with us because we cover everything. We cover AEW, WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, CMLL, all of them, everything. We cover it. So stick with us, and I hope you enjoy what you're seeing.
Good job. One last
Shameless plug.
Maria says Knight should be the longest reigning TNT champ. That would be a long time. I think
it would be.
Yeah. I don't know who it is off the top of my head. I could probably
I think I'll look it up. You keep going. I think it's like Cody or somebody like that, but I'm not entirely sure.
Let's see if I could sort by days recognized most here on. I already have the Wikipedia up. Darby had it 186 days.
That was the longest?
Yeah, back in 2020.
Wow.
186 recognized days. So
good for him.
And that was only the fourth title reign.
That's our AEW World Champion right there.
Yep.
Yeah, the title definitely has been I don't want to say hot potatoed since, but it's definitely meant to be more of a quick reign belt than anything else because it's meant to just be lots of defenses, lots of matches in a short period of time. It's meant to be more bursts than anything else.
Yeah, it's the TV title, and that's that's what they're there for. Just flipping through some of them. We haven't really had a 100-day reign. Jack in 2024, Jack Perry had it for 146 days, and then he lost to Garcia, who had it for 134.
Fletcher had it for 114.
Yeah, that was the last extended one we had, and then he lost it to Briscoe, who lost the champion, who lost it right back to Fletcher anyway. So,
yeah.
All right. After this match, we came back from commercial to an in-ring interview with one Chris Jericho. I don't know if he's Jericho or Chris Jericho.
Renee said Chris Jericho.
Yes, she did, and I'm going with Renee goes with because I'm not throwing away 40 years of calling him Chris Jericho. So
please God, don't say it's been 40 years.
Didn't he have his like 30th or 40th anniversary in Daly's place?
It had to have been 30. Like he's got to be 30 plus, but it can't be.
Maybe it was 30. It was whatever match he had against Luther.
Ew.
Anyway, Renee,
Ew.
remember it was that tag match?
Ew.
So Renee asked Chris Jericho about Ricochet saying that Jericho would be rusty last week, but Jericho didn't look rusty, and she asked him how he feels. And he said it was great to be back, and that he doesn't think he lost because he was rusty. He thinks he lost because he was outnumbered 3-1. Jericho then tries to give Ricochet credit for his win, but Ricochet and the Demand interrupt him. And Ricochet says that he meant it when he said he respects Chris Jericho, and he respects him even more now after their match. But he told Jericho he was going to get hurt, especially after Ricochet beat him with his own move, saying he should rename the Lion Salt to the Rico Salt.
Awful.
Ricochet says that Jericho didn't completely embarrass himself, but it wasn't enough to overcome the rise of Ricochet, so Jericho should do what he said he should do and just retire. However, Jericho is the king of reinvention, as Ricochet runs down all of his different gimmicks over the years. So maybe he'll just reinvent himself again, and this time into the guy who comes out and gets his ass kicked by the Demand every week, which would become the best run of his career. Jericho,
not a bad promo from Ricochet.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it, except the Rico Salt thing, which
but it's meant to be stupid. It's meant to be bad.
Yes,
it's not like, oh man, that wasn't good. It's just ew. Like we're meant to be like, ew, you're gross.
And Jericho immediately called that out, saying Rico Salt is brutal, bald. And then he says he appreciates Ricochet coming out here, bald, and giving his insights, bald, because he respects Ricochet's opinions, bald. So
you're forgetting the other two.
I didn't get to them yet.
Stupid and ugly.
So I think it was dumb and ugly.
Yeah, I think it was dumb and ugly too.
So as I was saying, Jericho says that he knows what the game is, bald, knowing that Ricochet's goons, dumb and ugly, are going to back him up no matter what he says or does, bald. So why doesn't he leave his goons, dumb and ugly, on the stage, bald, and come down and face him one-on-one, bald, as Jericho figures he probably won't because he's too afraid, bald. By the way, for those of you who don't get this, Jericho did that the entire time. He would get to like the end of the sentence fragment and just drop a bald.
It felt very. You're gonna love this. To me, it gave very Austin Powers mole. That's really what I was getting there, and that was perfect.
It was like a combination of that and I don't understand your accent. Whatever. The crowd was eating it up. It was great. Anyway, Ricochet first tells Jericho that he's not allowed to call him bald. He hasn't earned that right. And then he says he is not afraid to go down there and face off with Jericho one-on-one, telling Bishop Khan and Toa Liona to stay on the stage no matter what. And then he heads down to the ring and goes right at Jericho, and Jericho immediately gets the upper hand, and he's got Ricochet in the corner, and Ricochet is just like, no, I was lying, and he calls Khan and Leona down. And they just quickly come in and take Jericho out, just beat the shit out of him, eventually hit him with their double razor's edge, and then Ricochet adds insult to injury and hits a Rico Salt. So, James, I think we said on Sunday we would have been totally fine if we didn't see Ricochet and Jericho interact again.
More than totally fine. We wanted it.
Yeah, all things considered, though, this wasn't terrible, and hopefully we don't get too much more. We get the rematch, but hopefully we don't get too much more after that.
So,
bald.
So we've talked about it. We've said it before. I don't ever hate the concept of Jericho feuds or the actual rivalry with anybody. Right. What I tend to fall off on is when the feud it goes forever. This isn't a case of that. This feud started a week before the pay-per-view, if not the week of the pay-per-view. This is technically week 2 of the feud.
Yeah.
I don't think it needed to even go that far, but it's not bad. And full on, Maria and I have just been on opposite sides all night, but I liked the promo. I thought it was the funniest thing Jericho has done in a long time. Like an actually funny thing. And maybe it's just me, maybe my sense of humor is whatever, but to me it was the funniest thing Jericho has done in a long time. And last week he brought back the list. So I really, really enjoyed it.
I found it funny. I mean, and like I said, it was very over with the crowd. The first time he did it, when he said, "That sounds really stupid, bald," like everyone went, did he just go, he said bald, and then they all thought it was funny, and then he kept doing it, and the crowd just got more and more into it. So
yeah, absolutely.
It worked with them.
Yep. So I think this really worked. To go to its point, he was kind of expecting a new group to come in for the save on Jericho, but that didn't happen.
Same.
I think it's inevitably going to happen. And I said this, I think, a week or two ago, that it's like Jericho's going to build a new group. He's not going to feud with a group and then somehow just come out on top over all three of them. I think at the very least, he's going to align himself with a tag team. Who that could be? Let Jericho finally mend fences with MVP. He joins the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know.
Yes.
Me too. But I don't know what teams would make sense for him. Maybe, like, there's a part of me that, like, I think it's going to be awful, but maybe Cope and Christian. But I also don't think they're going to be doing this either.
Yeah, they're not going to be Jericho's backup. I wouldn't mind seeing them do like a trios match at one point or another if they all get involved against somebody they all don't like, which just weirdly feels like Don Callis, but whatever.
Those Canadians,
they
can't avoid each other.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. We mentioned, maybe we get interactions with him and the Outrunners and Dalton Castle. I wouldn't mind seeing him have an interaction with the Rascals because I think it would be kind of funny, especially if they try to get him to, light one up. But I don't need those guys running with Jericho in a full-time capacity. It would just be funny to have them maybe team up for a week or just, see each other backstage, something like that.
No, for sure.
We'll see who ends up coming in to help him. I know, I'm thinking Jack is probably done with Ricochet at this point, so I don't think that'll happen.
Please.
But we'll see who it ends up being. Maria liked Rico Salt, despite the fact she didn't like the bald thing. So, different strokes, I guess. It's saying maybe Khan and Leona were just too dumb and stupid to understand the order to stay out of it.
I get what he's doing there.
Maria also saying that Jericho feuds take too long. They have in the past, and hopefully we can avoid it this time. Especially, hopefully Tony takes over a little more control with everything. Yeah. It's saying you kids don't understand old man jokes. I did, but I'm getting older, so that's probably why. And Fernando agreeing with us that Cope and Christian will join up with Jericho. I think there's a possibility I think they'll do something together in the future. I just don't think it'll be for this.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yes, exactly that. Yes. I think that picture they took with He Who Shall Not Be Named son is just what put that in my head.
Is his name David?
Yeah.
I'm trying to, David Benoit. Yeah. It was an interesting photo. Just because, Christian was in kayfabe and the rest of them clearly weren't.
I had a panic attack. I had, an honest to God, I was sweating.
Yeah, there's probably, I am now because there's no AC on right now. But honestly, there's probably a real one where they all, smile and everything. But the fact that they put out the one where Christian was in kayfabe was perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, it's just... He was sweating, not saying it.
It would have been great if they had a picture where David's just sitting there and Cope and Jericho are literally holding Christian back, just covering his mouth and stopping him. That would have been funny.
I think it would have been a little too much.
We were all subtle enough. We were all thinking it. But yes, you're right. You are right. Anyway, moving on.
All right, next up, we got a Don Callis family backstage interview after their match at Dynasty with the Young Bucks. Now, I saw this earlier in the week.
Me too.
Was great.
I saw it to the point that I thought it was just on the pay-per-view, but I must have saw it online. I must have saw it on Twitter or Reddit.
It was on Reddit, and which means they probably posted it on Twitter. There was a lot of stuff that they were posting, and they do this a lot with the pay-per-views. and then they usually end up putting a compilation out on them on YouTube, which I didn't catch it, which is probably how I missed the Kenny Will thing. But I think what they've started to do recently is the ones that really hit online, they'll start putting them on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Especially ones that really help further the story.
I think
this
so.
one especially. So Renee is back there and she tries to catch up with that carny piece of shit, Don Callis, and Kazuchika Okada following the loss. And she's like, Don, what happened out there? Don's like, a 2-on-1 happened. What do you think happened? It was terrible. I don't know how we got in this situation. And then he stops his train of thought because Konosuke Takeshita starts walking by. So he's like, Takeshita, Take, what happened out there? And Takeshita just goes in the driest, most sarcastic voice, it was an accident. And looks at Okada and goes, I'm so sorry. And then just walks away. And Okada cursed him out in Japanese. I don't remember what he said. Somebody put it on the Reddit thread, and I don't remember. He said something like "stop fucking around," and then there was a little more to it. And then Don's like, "Okay, calm down. He's my problem. He's my responsibility. We need to go get you checked out." And then they walk away, and it ended. Beautiful from Takeshita. Just absolute poetry.
Yep. It rhymes. It rhymes. It was so good. And
Thanks, Lucas.
the thing is, like, even with this, Okada has still fucked around more than Takeshita has.
Yep.
Like, this was Takeshita's one back at him, but it's still going to be the one that costs him. He's still somehow going to be the problem.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know, it was great. And I feel like it's the first time we've seen a lighter Takeshita. I mean, sometimes when he interacts
In a
with Kyle.
minute. Yeah, in a minute. It's been a while since then. But yeah, no, I love this. I cannot wait for babyface Takeshita. I want him to have a monster babyface run.
Yeah, and he's going to. The crowd's already cheering him.
Yeah.
So, you know what's saying is Japanese is a little rusty, but I'm so sorry. Fuck you in Japanese. Apparently, like I said, Okada said "fuck you" or something to that extent in Japanese right after that. So, and Maria's saying Don is starting to take sides, clearly, and you can even hear it a little bit when we get to the next match here when he was on commentary.
Yeah,
for the Will Ospreay Hechicero match. Now, as mentioned, this is non-title. Hechicero is one of the CMLL world champions. There's a lot of them because they have all the weight classes.
Yeah.
So I think he's the heavyweight champ. He beat Claudio for that title, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
Yes.
This is the heavyweight world championship.
Yes. But not being defended here tonight. Will was seriously taped up around his neck and most of his left arm following his match on Sunday. And obviously Don did his grand introduction for Hechicero, and in his busted ass Spanish somehow mixed in a Super Nintendo and made it sound Spanish. He was also on commentary.
He was. That was great.
So this match was pretty long. It got 2 commercial breaks. Coming out of the first commercial break, the camera showed Marina Shafir watching from ringside on the other side of the barricade. Something that briefly distracted Will Ospreay during the match, but it didn't really impact him too much during it.
Yeah, it didn't play a major part in the match at all.
Yeah. And then heading into the second commercial break, Hechicero hit a nasty-looking guillotine head scissors.
Oh, my God.
And he went for the pin.
He spiked him.
Yeah, and Ospreay didn't have enough to kick, instead putting his foot on the rope. Yep. Which commentary put over big, being like, how often do you see Will not be able to kick out and having to resort to that? That caused Don Callis to get up off a commentary and go over and start berating referee Rick Knox, even grabbing his shirt at one point, which I thought was bold. But that distraction allowed Hechicero to just go over and start raining right hands into Will's head. And so eventually the ref noticed and stopped it. And then Doc Samson came over and checked on Will as we headed into that break. And then as we came back, Will was starting to get into it. The end of this match, I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but I'm still a little confused as to how the hell Ospreay got from a triangle choke into a Styles Clash.
If there's anybody in the world who can do it, it's Will Ospreay. And maybe AJ Styles.
I was going to say probably AJ first and then Will, but he somehow did it. And then he went into the corner and he hit a hidden blade and he pinned Hechicero for the win. And then on commentary, Don is pissed. So he starts going, damn it. We're like, plan B. We're going to plan B. And everyone's like, what's plan B? So after that, Ospreay's up in the corner celebrating and he starts staring down Marina. And as he is doing so, Don walks into his eye path and starts distracting Will. And so Will jumps down and he starts jawing at Don. And then Don points and Will turns around and he gets his head taken off by Mark Davis, who had snuck in behind him. Davis then picks Ospreay up and he hit him with that big bouncy pile driver and left him lying, and Davis had his music play.
This is exactly what we've been saying. If we have to deal with the fact that unfortunately Kyle Fletcher is going to be off TV for a while, take this time to build Mark Davis up. I have no illusions that Mark Davis is going to beat Will Ospreay. I have no illusions that this is going to be a huge, huge deal for him. But it's big enough that he's just getting this time to shine. He is getting this time to have moments. And they've been doing it a lot, where it's him coming in and just driving people to the mat with that pile driver. This is great. I am so happy.
Yeah, really looking forward to that match. I like the fact that commentary played it up. Obviously, there used to be in United Empire together, and there's a lot of similar story beats as there was with with Fletcher. You know, Ospreay allowing Davis into his home and stuff like that. But in the past, when Davis has interacted with Ospreay, we've seen a man who was very reluctant to do so because he had just joined the Don Callis family, only because Don owned his contract. Now he's fully into this. And he went in there with no regard for Will's life and bounced him off his head.
Yep.
And so this is going to be a very different interaction now. Got to imagine those matches are going to slap however they come through. And I'm looking forward to it. And as for this match slapped.
Yeah,
this might have been match of the night. This was awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously the emotional payoff of Darby MJF is one thing, but yes, in terms of just action, this was probably almost definitely match of the night.
That's one of those things where, like, to borrow from Meltzer, he won't rate the main event because it was too quick to really rate it, but he'll write like 3 paragraphs on it, whereas he'll give this like a 4.5, 4.25 or something because it was really fucking good.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It's saying, again, did he mention Hechicero lost? He doesn't even care if it was too well. Look, I'm a huge Hechicero fan as well. He showed out tonight, and the people loved him. They're really behind him, heel or face. He's great. Don introducing him is always great. The people love Hechicero. I know he took the loss here. I wouldn't worry too much about it. He'll get his wins when he needs them, and he's also the champ. So he'll do great in CMLL. And I think he will only lose to top AEW talent because he's a CMLL champ.
Exactly.
Maria asking a good question here. Did Moxley send Marina out, or was she trolling Alex Windsor? I think it's mostly column A, but I'm sure there's a little column B there.
Is she feuding at all with Windsor?
Well, they had that match in the pre-show on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was mostly, I think, because of the brawl that happened last Wednesday when she was involved with United Empire, because, somebody had to take Marina out.
Yeah.
And so I think that works. But I think it was mostly because we will get to it. Moxley had that backstage promo where he asked Marina, how did he look in reference to Ospreay? So I think it was more Marina just checking in to see how Ospreay is because his neck is royally fucked. Let's see. It's saying that he just noticed Will's got the goat and the W and the O, in it. Which, whoever designs Ospreay's gear is great.
Oh, yeah, it's top-notch gear. Top-notch gear.
Top drawer, Kensington. Fernando is saying he loves the pile driver and from Davis, and he should get a huge mid-card push. Maybe have a long blood feud with Brody King. I will gladly take that big meaty men slap and meat match. That would be awesome.
Did you say meat? I heard meat.
Yes, I did.
I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, following this, we had a backstage promo from Willow, which was the one they showed at Dynasty. Basically, it was just where she called out Kamille and challenged her to the TBS Championship match tonight. So I'm not really going to go through it all again. Just wanted to, everybody was there. And then we went out to the stage where Renee was there, and she was trying to set something up, but instead she got interrupted by Tekla, who was out in the crowd up on the stairs. And she told Renee that no one paid to hear her flap her gums, especially when the champ Tekla is around. She then says that she walked into Dynasty as the AEW Women's World Champion and walked out still champ after she beat the hell out of Jamie Hayter. And she is going to continue to be champion for a long time because the division is full of dumb bitches. Tekla then gets interrupted by the aforementioned Alex Windsor. How's it going, Connect? And Windsor says that she's not going to let Tekla claim that she beat Jamie Hayter, and she's certainly not going to let Tekla waltz around when she should beat the bloody piss out of her right now. Tekla responds that she can't believe that she said the word dumb bitches and Windsor magically appeared.
That was a great line.
Yeah. Before telling Windsor not to blame her because her best friend and her husband lost on Sunday. Windsor says that Tekla is forgetting that she's not the only champion around here, since Windsor herself is the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. And in Japan, they don't call Tekla champ. They just call her the girl who was stupid enough to get herself fired. And she also called Tekla a silly tit. Wasn't relevant to anything. I just wanted to say that.
I don't blame you.
Tekla says she only got fired because they couldn't handle. Well, actually, she initially denied she got fired. She goes, I didn't get fired in Japan. And she goes, okay, fine, I got fired in Japan. But they only fired me because they couldn't handle Tekla.
Great line.
Just like Windsor can't handle Tekla, just like nobody can handle Tekla. And Windsor's like, we get it, nobody can handle Tekla. And she says, fine, then Tekla should come down here so that Windsor can prove she can handle her right here, right now. Tekla declines, so Windsor tells her to bring her title, and they'll have a match on Collision. And Tekla agrees, but as she does so, the Sisters of Sin snuck up in behind Windsor. However, she was able to fend off their attack, and then she headed into the crowd after Tekla, who began to retreat up the stairs. I loved this promo.
Yeah, this was so much fun.
It was very natural from both of them. They just kind of felt like they were talking shit. So it wasn't the cleanest promo, but probably some of the best, or the most character I think Tekla has shown since joining AEW, especially with a mic in the crowd. We see it backstage sometimes. We definitely saw it when she called out Alicia last week. But we saw, like, this was a very fun version of Tekla. She was very funny in this promo while still talking shit. And I thought this was some of the best work Windsor has done on the mic too. Mostly probably because it's her longest promo she's had since she's been in AEW. So I didn't know where this was going, and it really only kind of just was there to set up a match on Collision, but I liked it a lot.
Oh, no, I super enjoyed this. Tekla is genuinely just such a treat. She is so fun on the mic. Like a mix of her accent, her delivery, and just her mannerisms, like just her personality. Everything works with her. She is a maniacally fun heel champion.
Yep.
You know? So I enjoy her. Windsor played her part beautifully. You know, she's a brawling bird. She's got a score she's got to settle. She's mad. She wants to fight. And she's got something to prove, too. She's a champion in her own right. So I really enjoyed this. I liked her getting one up on the Sisters of Sin. I'm sure Chris LeClaire is not happy about it. But I want them to get a rub, too. I wish that the Sisters of Sin did get a little more. Because I said this a while back. It really does feel like they're back up to her now. Which is nuts. But good for Tekla, I guess. So yeah, absolute fun segment. And considering we only got one women's match tonight, I will take a good segment, even if I would wish we had gotten another match.
Yeah, and it was quite a bit of time as well for this segment. Like, it wasn't like a quick one. So if you're not going to get the match, at least here on Dynamite, I will gladly take this because it really let their personalities come through. And I love this. It was great. Maniacal is a great word for Tekla, by the way.
Yeah.
Give that one to Tony Khan. Let's see. You know what? Big fan of what Fernando was saying about Davis, and he also said that Davis should be a threat to every mid-card title. I concur. Also, shit, I think he could even be a threat to the Ring of Honor World title if he wanted to work that schedule too.
He had the good match against Jack Perry on the pre-show for the national title.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
he's getting his opportunities, Fernando, and I'm very excited about it. Back to Connect here, saying that they're on the main events right now. They were a little behind, but you say, man, is this special? It was. I like this episode a lot.
I thought this was a very special moment, and I think they nailed it.
Yeah. Maria asking, where was Alex's tag partner, aka Jamie Hayter? Good question. I presume she was recovering from her match on Sunday, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up seeing her on Collision, because you would have to imagine the Sisters of Sin try to get involved, and Hayter comes out to get them uninvolved.
Yeah.
It's saying all that is true about Tekla, but she got fired.
I love this comment. I love this.
How could you trust her not to steal the company pens?
Was Tekla in any of those? Do you remember those commercials that were airing months ago? She was, right?
Yeah, we're the best wrestle commercials when they're in the office.
Yeah.
Oh, where wrestlers work. That was
where wrestlers are. I think she was just doing the spider walk in the office, right?
Yeah, I don't think she had any lines, but she was in the background and stuff. Yeah, she was really funny. I guess they had to stop. I don't know why they stopped running them, but they had to stop running the Hobbs one, obviously.
Yeah, seriously.
Which sucks, because the Hobbs meme with him with the glasses on the end, and it
was funny.
All of those were funny. The Bucks needing money for the vending machine and doing the pose, and then it doesn't work. Yeah, they were all great. All right. Hang on.
One last comment.
Yep, from Maria. The Sisters of Sin are basically doing the same thing B-Fab and Nishan are doing right now for Jade, and I agree. That's a good comp there. But I think James and I would agree that we wish they were a little higher than that. Yeah. Triangle implies that they're all equals, and I think very clearly points. Here, Tekla is the lead right now, as opposed to, say, when you had your Death Triangle, Pac, and the Lucha Brothers were all equal, sides of the equation. This is not an equilateral triangle with the Triangle of Madness right now.
And the slight difference there too is that while I am a fan of Michin and B-Fab to an extent, B-Fab, they are very clearly not on the same level as Jade in terms of star power, in terms of a lot. Julia Hart's a former CBS champion. She's been around longer than the other two generally.
Yeah, and the crowd's very much been behind Julia in the past.
Yeah, so it just feels weird that we got to this point. While Michin and B-Fab, it's like, oh yeah, I totally get why we're here. It is as unfortunate as that is. I get it. This just feels like, how did we get here?
Yeah, because the thing with Jade makes sense. Michin's a vet. She's been around the block. She's there to help mentor not just Jade but B-Fab as well, who is younger. And then you put B-Fab with Jade, who is a superstar, and you can help build her as well. As opposed to this, it seemed in the beginning like they were going to be equals, but now I think Tekla is just really pulling away because she is a star.
Yeah,
and Jamie and Sky they're good, but they are still young and they are still kind of learning. So I think Tony has I don't know why he's pulled them back a bit, but he very clearly has.
And because I feel like it's going to be an when, not if, because she's just too popular. When they decide to pull the trigger and make Tekla a face, you can have that feud against Julia, where Julia could stay the heel there. So, yeah, I give it time. That's what I'll say. Give it time.
Yeah, this is more of an isosceles triangle, like I said, as opposed to equilateral. Yep. I remember geometry. Go me. I didn't just look it up or anything. All right, next up we had that Death Riders promo I mentioned before backstage,
and that is the point. Absolutely. That even their sneak attack, we only saw them for a second.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, Death Riders backstage promo led by Moxley, who says that he likes to be surprised, but unfortunately, Will Ospreay never surprises him. He then turns to Marina and asks her how Will looked. And she said he looked rough. And Mox's like, yeah, rough, little green around the gills. And he was pretty happy about that. And he says that he tends to be able to read all of the cards. And maybe it's because of luck, or maybe it's because he pays more attention than anyone else. Contrary to popular belief, he doesn't take pleasure in the suffering of others although there can be beauty in it. He prefers life over death, light over darkness, but you don't get one without the other. He then turns his attention to what's the kid's name? And I think Wheeler gave him Nick Wayne.
Yep.
And Mox calls their match on Collision the biggest of Nick's life and asks Nick to surprise him since he doesn't know much about him. However, he says this is Continental rules. It's big boy stuff. So he tells Nick to leave mommy in the back.
Got him.
Good stuff from Mox, as always. Following this, the last match we have to cover was Willow Nightingale versus the returning Kamille for the TBS Championship. Yeah, I don't. A lot of it was in commercial, I think. Once again, time slot of death for the women's match. Just to go to the end, after she got out of an armbar, Willow shoved Kamille to the turnbuckles and then got her with a backslide and kept Kamille down for the 3, and she retains her title. Honestly, and I feel bad. You know me, I love Willow.
Yeah,
I didn't pay a lot of attention to this match.
I did, and I'm left wanting. So I've been very open. I felt very weird about how everything happened with Kamille. Like I don't understand why she was gone for so long. Then she filmed American Gladiator, and I now she's back, and I was excited that she was back.
Did she actually get hurt?
I don't know. Nobody knows. We thought, I heard rumors that there was heat. I heard rumors that there was something going on, but nobody was opening up about it. But all in all, we just knew she was gone for well over a year. Over a year. And when she came back, I was excited for what was next. And it's weird because it feels like we're all weirdly rooting against this Willow title reign because so many people have come back who have been exciting, whether it was Sheeta or who was it after Sheeta?
Oh, shoot. Who's she defended against last week?
Queen Aminata.
Yeah.
And now Kamille. It's just like, oh my God, this is all exciting. But watching this match, and I say this as someone who's rooting for Kamille the wrestler, she didn't look like she should win. She looked kind of rusty, and not surprising. She hasn't wrestled in over a year, and she wrestled for about a minute at the pay-per-view. So, on one hand, I feel really bad because she did, from a kayfabe standpoint, Willow absolutely should lose. She's been defending nonstop, and her body is very clearly beaten down, and Kamille is a power wrestler. She should be putting people down. But Willow overcame. So
she out-wrestled her.
Yeah, she out-wrestled her. So Kamille just doesn't look great here. Now, but on the flip side, I'm glad she didn't win because she does not look like she's ready to be TBS champion right now. So it was a very emotionally conflicting match for me with these two ladies. I'm rooting for the Kamille come up. I hope she's able to, shake loose from that ring rust and she's able to get it together. And Willow, it's a matter of when. And I think based off the promo, we know who might take the title off of her. So we'll talk about it. I am inclined once again, as we're getting near the end of the show, we have a lot of viewers with us tonight. Just want to say thank you again. If you're a new viewer checking us out for the first time, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stick with us as we are in the middle of WrestleMania week. We will be covering WrestleMania this weekend, and we cover all the major promotions that have 3 letters. Some of them have more than 3, but AEW, WWE, TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, the whole shebang, we cover them all. Stick with us. Rev, back to you.
Yeah, thanks. And you were saying with this match, Willow's body's falling apart. That failed to mention or just specify. Kamille attacked Willow on Sunday. The whole reason Willow's arm was all taped up and then was mostly useless throughout this match was because of that attack. And then Kamille going after it throughout the match. I even think she got an armbar in at one point.
She did, and it was an ugly armbar at first.
Yeah, I was not really her forte, from what I've seen, but I understand, her going after the arm. And the story was told to the point where Willow at one point tried to go for the babe with the power bomb, and she couldn't get Kamille up, and then she still escaped. Now agree with you that, you know, I don't think Willow's title reign should have ended here. Just because, you know, I think you're right. Kamille does need to work off the ring rust, but just current like thing they've got going with Willow, where she's like the return killer, for lack of a better phrase. You know, the return stopper, I think they've been calling her. It's kind of weird, and unless you're right, and it is Shida, which we'll talk about in a second. The only other thing I can think of with them building up returns.
I think it's going to be so. I think that person is going to play into it, but not in the way I think you think.
Okay. Right. I mean, I don't know.
I think she's going to make the save. I think ultimately she is going to save Willow.
Oh, so like you think, so like Shida beats her down, and then we'll just stop beating around the bush here. Mercedes comes out and saves Willow.
that was good from you know it.
No, not Britt Baker.
I mean, admittedly, she fits the mold here.
It could be. I mean, look, I don't know what's up with Britt, and honestly, no one really does. But no, I think Mercedes is the answer here. The only reason I'm going to be like, why, is because we're putting her back in the TBS title picture when I think, you know, she probably should be in the women's world title picture, but I also think that's what the Owen is for.
I would not be shocked if she comes back, makes the save for Willow, turns face in the process, goes through the Owen, wins the world title.
Yeah,
like just defending Willow doesn't mean she has to go for the TBS title.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Even then, like I get where you're coming from. I still think Mercedes comes back like still heel-ish, but like incredibly downtrodden and has to start at the bottom. And
bad
then,
luck
like
Corbin.
And then, but not bad luck Corbin, but just like I lost all of my belts. Yeah. And then she's still kind of hanging on to the Owen one. And then at the start of the tournament, like Tony has to like forcibly rip it out of her hands. I know they technically get to keep it, but just for the visual, it would be funny.
No, absolutely.
And then she has to go through the tournament, and she kind of like, but I think slowly she should like build herself back up to getting to the tournament and have like a Moxley-esque run almost, where she slowly turns face and then probably, you know, ends up winning the women's world title at All In.
Yeah.
That would be I don't know. That's the way I would book. I get what you're saying about the immediate face turn, but it's just, I think her story doesn't necessarily lend itself to that.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. We'll see. I'm not going to be opposed. I'm not going to be angry at your proposal. I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah. As you know, Maria is saying that maybe Kamille has softened up Willow for Mercedes herself, but I don't know if Camille's going to be running with Mercedes again. She might.
It would actively be weird if they do.
Yeah,
because of how that ended.
Exactly. So I think they might probably end up being separate. It's saying that rusty wrestlers should do some indies before getting on TV.
I agree.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. Nobody's saying they got to be wrestling 60-minute classics on the indies. Just get some ring time in.
Yeah. And, make another buck or two while you're doing it. Maria's saying we don't start from the bottom. I get where you're coming from. I do. But the story, I think, really would help a lot. Because I feel like it's the one thing Mercedes has never done.
Yeah.
Right? Or even including the Sasha Banks stuff as well. She's always really, I guess, except, coming up at the beginning of NXT, but even then she was, always near the top.
Lines for it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I do feel like the one face run she's never had is being, losing everything, which she literally just did, and having her work her way back. And then doing that and going and winning the title, I think would be a great face run and to culminate it all in. All right, last thing we got to cover here was immediately after the TBS match, we went backstage with Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. So Shida congratulates Willow on her victory before, and actually spoke a lot more Japanese than she usually does, which I thought was really cool. Before telling Statlander that they made a great team last week on Collision, so they're going to be teaming again tomorrow night on Collision as well. And Shida's like all kind of up in her grill when she was telling her this, like her head on her shoulder. And then she walks away, and Stash just like the fuck? You know, she looked frustrated and exasperated, and she was just like, what is going on here? Like, why does everyone keep telling me what I'm doing all of a sudden? So I don't know where that's leading, but whatever Sheeta's doing right now, I'm liking. She seems very sarcastic in telling Willow that she was happy that she won. She also, I like the fact she's talking more Japanese. I feel like we never really got to hear her do that in her first few runs. And just whatever, just whatever her presentation is, the way she's just saying things right now, just the level, I don't know if it's sarcasm that's just dripping from it, but I find it intriguing and I really want to know where this is going. And not just because it's Cheetah, but
I mean, partially, and you're allowed. Yeah. I did not hide a single bias tonight. You're allowed this one. My one thing about her speaking in Japanese that I'm not crazy about is that I don't like the idea that she's turning heel, so that means she's speaking in Japanese. Like, I don't like it. It feels like, I don't want to say like vaguely racist, but it feels like the typical foreign heel type thing.
Yeah,
you know?
I see what you're saying.
That's my one, bugaboo about it, maybe. But it feels like it's coming. Like it feels very thinly veiled that she's not a heel out and out yet.
Yeah.
Maria's saying it's also weird Sheeta heel turn official tomorrow night. Like it feels like it should have happened a while ago at this point.
I think she's going to kind of play this like weird little tweener character for a bit, and then she'll probably attack somebody, like you said, probably Willow. But we'll see how it ends up going. I'm still going to cheer for her.
Yeah.
Becky turned heel, and I cheered for her the entire way. But no, I'm curious if, the Cheetah speaking more Japanese thing is more of just her wanting to. I really think she really wanted to try to speak English more back when, in her earlier runs. And now it just seems like whether she wants to or she's just more comfortable throwing the Japanese in there. Like, whatever. I don't think that's a Tony call. I would think that's a Sheeta call, especially because Tony has led all of his wrestlers, whether they speak Spanish or Japanese, or I even think Tekla broke out some Austrian when she showed up. Like, I think, he lets his wrestlers speak whatever language they want as long as they get their point across. Yeah. And I think this just feels more like just Cheetah changing her character up a little bit.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's that.
Yeah. And I will say, her English has gotten way better. If you follow any of her streams, it is way more confident than it was back then. So whatever she chooses to do, I'm cool. I'm down with. That's my one little, like, even if it's unintentional, maybe we just monitor that. But either way.
Fun fact about Cheetah, apparently she says certain words in English with a English British inflection.
Oh, that's funny.
It's because she learned to speak English watching Harry Potter.
That is so funny. Oh, that's cute.
Because so she tweeted out a long time ago. She's like, some people have told me I sound like that. It's like, this is why.
Whatever works.
What, joking, she's hogging up the promo time. More than just tonight's show. Yeah, she did this to Statlander last week as well. Yep. Actually, I think it was online that promo came out when she was like, hey, Statlander, we're tagging on Collision. Hey, cool, great, thanks, bye. And Stat was like, we are?
She's just in catering eating. What?
Yeah. No, they were outside with Alicia, but it's just okay. It's like, we were friends. We did team up back in the day, AEW Originals, but I haven't seen you in 3 years. All right. And that was Dynamite, kids. Obviously, this is all going to be overshadowed by Darby Allin winning the title here tonight.
Finally.
Which we talked ad nauseum about. But so, James, the rest of this episode, I thought was pretty solid. I think the wrestling was okay to great. Great being the Ospreay Hechicero match. The rest of it was in terms of the wrestling stuff. A lot of talking tonight. Like almost everybody who had a match spoke after. Yeah. So I don't know. It was the Darby stuff really, I think, helped raise the rating of this episode. but it was really sandwiched between those two things. And then the only other thing that truly stood out was that Ospreay Hechicero match, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Kenny Ospreay interaction backstage.
Oh yeah, that was very good as well.
That was a big highlight for me. I obviously everything Darby and MJF tonight for me was just fantastic. I really enjoyed the Tekla Alex Windsor promo.
Yeah, man, I'm really underrating this episode just because I didn't like a couple of matches.
Ospreay, Hechicero, incredible. I enjoyed Knight and Claudio. Like it could have hit an extra gear, but like I liked it. I did like it. And yeah, like just look at everything else. Like I'm excited for what's coming now from Ciampa, even though I thought the match itself was just fine. So I thought this was a great post pay-per-view Dynamite, where so many pieces have been moved forward. And that's not even including the fact that we have a new world champion. It's just so many pieces have a clear, even if they don't have a clear trajectory, it's clear that goals are being established. Kenny Omega, I can still do it. Tommaso Ciampa, I'm going for that world title. Kevin Knight, going for that world title. Chris Jericho and Ricochet, still going. So a lot of things have been put in place. So I'd say I got what I needed out of this episode.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And you had, you were moving some pieces, other parts of the board just got flipped over.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
we have to put all new pieces down. So a lot's happened. A lot got set up, and they threw a spanner in the whole world title picture with Darby, getting the title. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what we thought was going to happen, way off base. And now we have to recalibrate and try to make more predictions because we're YouTubers. And that's what we do now.
Just gonna answer this really quickly. Maria asking what's wrong with the foreign heel gimmick. It still works. It's not just an American thing. Americans are villains in foreign films. So the difference typically, at least to me, is that any film that portrays anybody as a bad guy, there's usually a level of historical context to explain whatever situation and whatever animosity or antagonism is being viewed. When it comes to wrestling, it's typically more whatever character you are gets erased. Like when Kevin Owens became the face of America, he lost everything that made him Kevin Owens and he just became like a weird foreign heel gimmick. Gunther, who we know is a very like three-dimensional bad guy, when he got played up as the foreign heel for a while, you lose so much of what makes Gunther Gunther. And I think that applies to so many foreign wrestlers. Miro / Rusev, his best gimmick wasn't Rusev Kosh, I'm the Bulgarian brute.
He wasn't. He was the Russian, the hero of the Russian Federation.
Yeah. It was the Redeemer. That's when he was at his best.
Or Miro, or Rusev Day.
Yeah, or Rusev Day. Drew McIntyre isn't, or Sheamus aren't just, we're like, when Sheamus was part of the League of Nations, was that their name?
Yep.
Wow. But we know how good Sheamus is. So my issue then with like the foreign heel gimmick is that you lose so much of what could make a wrestler great. I have no problem with foreign wrestlers being heels. I just don't want them to be a heel simply because they are a foreigner. Like, there's nuance to it that I think gets lost.
Yeah, and for the record, I don't think Rusev's Hero of the Russian Federation foreign heel shtick was bad. I thought it was actually pretty good for what it was at the time. I think the way I was going to answer that was, what you don't want with the foreign heel gimmick, if you are going to do one, is to fall into the trap of stereotyping.
Yes.
And yeah. I thought that's a little more what you were going for there, James, when you said, I don't want Shida to be just the
I mean, that is absolutely a big part of it. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I would think that's what I would say in terms of foreign heels. Foreign heels aren't always my favorite if they fall into a stereotype. If they are heels who are foreign and they're very proud of where they are from, or at least as long as that's just part of their character, not their whole character, I think that can work real well.
Mustafa Ali kind of says it best. He never wanted to be a heel because of what he was. He wanted to be a heel because of how he acted. So I think that's
he does a great job of that.
Oh, he's incredible right now.
You know it's saying British actors play bad guys in tons of American movies, but we kind of love them. Here's why. Hollywood thinks that the average American thinks that British people just sound smarter and therefore are better bad guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of stereotyping. I'll say a great heel or bad guy is worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Like, for example, parts of this interview Jericho did a while back keep popping up, and he's talking about that feud he had with like Roddy Piper, towards the end with Piper. And he was saying, like, WrestleMania 1, all the credit goes to Vince and Hulk Hogan and Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper. And no one ever gives Piper any credit for being the dragon that the Dragon Slayer Hogan had to slay.
Well said.
So you're exactly right. You need those heels. Otherwise, you don't have anything for your faces to overcome. Yep. And sometimes they unfortunately get forgotten. But without them, you have no baby faces. All right. I think that's a good spot to end the show. So I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching us here. The Mark It Down podcast. We'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, especially for you new people here. We've enjoyed having you guys. Thank you for joining us, as always. If you like the video, let us know that you're enjoying what we're doing here on the pod, and we'll continue to do it. And if you subscribe, continue to get all the great stuff here on the show. As James has mentioned, it is WrestleMania week, so lots happening. Is there NXT? Was it Friday?
I have no clue.
I think there's NXT coming up at some point, but I don't know if we're going to cover that. I know we will be covering WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday. So be sure to subscribe for that if you want to hear our thoughts following nights 1 and 2 of Mania. I don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. I might be riding solo dolo because somebody's going to Las Vegas.
Blame your cousin. I didn't want this. This happened to me.
I'm aware, but so hopefully you guys join me on Sunday and you can help me out with everything. But it should be fun. So be sure to check us out, for all the Mania stuff coming up. Thank you.
OMR.
Yeah, OMR. I was like, I'm going to try. No, I'm not. We appreciate it. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Yep. And also, the rest of the stuff, obviously, we have all the stuff with WrestleMania, but we do have Jim Pack Zone on Thursdays for you TNA fans. We're here every Wednesday for Dynamite, and we cover as many pay-per-views as we possibly can.
I am going to try and cover House of Glory this week because they have an event happening WrestleMania weekend. No promises, but we're going to try to cover it, even if it's after WrestleMania. If a post weekend show coverage, we're going to try to cover House of Glory, and we'll see what else we could do for you.
Yep. Friendly reminder from Collision is tomorrow. So I'm sure TNA will be really happy about that.
What else can they take away?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, a combination of Tony not wanting to run against Mania Saturday, and I also think the NHL playoffs start in the next couple of days. So Collision's probably going to be moving around a lot, kids, just so you know, with the playoffs coming up. Also, for more Mania coverage, be sure to follow us on all our social media stuff. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Blue Sky, all in the links in the description below. I highly recommend the Instagram because I know Matt's going to be running around all over the city this weekend if he doesn't actually get to Mania itself, doing different Mania parties. So you're going to want to check that stuff out. I'm sure James will be able to post some stuff from Mania itself, from Vegas. So go check us out on Instagram. I'll probably be on Blue Sky during the actual pay-per-views, posting about how much I'm annoyed by all the ads. But if you want to check any of those out, like I said, if you're here on YouTube, those are in the links are in the description below. If you're watching us on Facebook or on Twitter, you want to check us out in some other places. Twitter is at @marketdown_pod. Instagram is @marketdownpod. YouTube.com/@marketdownpod or /marketdown3665. Marketdownpod.bsky.social over on Blue Sky, or just search Marketdown Podcast on any of those platforms, and you'll be sure to find us. James, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
If you guys run into me on Sunday at WrestleMania, please say hi. I'm going to, as Rev said, I'm going to do my best to live document everything I'm doing. Apparently vlogging is a thing. I no promises, but I'm going to try to vlog, I guess. And yeah, I'll post content from Mania for sure. And hopefully it's a fun day.
Yep. All right. So for James Asante, my name is Nick Cummings. Thank you for telling us that we lasted more than 2 minutes. I appreciate that.
New record.
No, the record, we did like 3.5 hours after a long Mania once.
We're talking about two different things, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good point. All right. So again, for James Asante and Matt Cascone earlier, I almost forgot he was on. My name is Nick Cummings. Thank you so much for watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. Have a good one, everyone.